they go on the ground.
Man, the credibility surrounding Kotaku. I mean, honestly, they kind of ruined it with the whole Doom thing back then. Like that right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
my
was
God.
that was Polygon, bro.
Oh, that was Polygon? Oh, see,
Yeah,
that's the sad point. They're interchangeable.
I think Kotaku, believe it or not, was the Cuphead thing, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, or Cuphead was too hard and you shouldn't complain about having an easy mode or something like that?
No, I mean the video where their guy couldn't even get through the tutorial.
Are you serious? Oh, my Lord.
It was one of the major gaming sites anyway.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so YouTube thing was annoying. I had to make a whole new event. But it's live now. We're live.
We are?
Yeah.
Oh, we're
Yeah, I had to make a whole new event.
Oh, well, hi.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Where's Neo?" Hold on. Tech diff.
Do I dare make a do it live joke?
We'll do it live. Fuck it. I mean, might as well. Might as well. Let me just get this link out to people.
Sucks.
Yo, ever since YouTube keeps changing all their settings on things, this shit is just so irritating.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be great, YouTube. Let me be great. I remember it was just so simple when you had a YouTube Hangout and you were just so good.
Mm-hmm.
You just get a bunch of dudes in a Google Hangout and you were lit.
There was literally Hangouts is the one thing that I can't figure out why Google killed, because everybody actually used it.
Because Hangouts worked, that's why they got rid of it.
Probably. Got to make room for Stadia.
Yes, because Stadia is the future. Someone just said, "Damn, tell me why I was just watching your video." Sorry, y'all. But hey, now you get to see us in real time. Yeah.
Double feature.
I'm telling you. I am telling you. That's what it's all about. But
reality is whatever you want it to be.
Oh gosh. Reality is whatever I want it to be. But yeah, y'all. So we might as well just get this started right now. What's going on, people? Welcome back to another installment of the NXP podcast. I don't want to say that this is our very first episode for the new year, but I think it is. a whole three and almost half months later into the year, but we back, baby. We trying our best to get out as much content before the end of the world, because everything just seems to be imploding left, right, and center. So might as well just introduce the panel. They need no introductions, but I'm gonna give them one anyway. Flanking on my left, we've got the Path of Geofreed, a.k.a. Original Krillin Fan, a.k.a. the Beard of Power, a.k.a. the Yakuza Dynamite, because this man has been playing through that entire collection. We got Danny D's World. What's up, bro?
Oh, man. You know, you got to find a way to shorten that intro. They're going to find a vaccine for the coronavirus before you finish it next time.
Hey, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And you know what the sad part about it is? Whoever finds out the cure for the coronavirus, they're going to find out some racist tweets from 2009, and we're not going to get no cure. So everything works itself out.
Disney single-handedly going to fix it.
Oh, literally.
Once Black Widow gets to stay at May 1st, they going to have that shit cured, bro.
I wouldn't be... I honestly... I mean, we'll touch on that later. But, yeah, we got Danny. What's good, bro? Yeah.
I'm fine.
So I gave you this whole big-ass intro, and that's all you give me? Just a fine?
I mean, okay, I'm doing great. I'm doing well. I am healthy. I am not dying. I actually made progress in Yakuza within the last 24 hours, so that's a plus.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man.
There we go.
Yeah, be greater. And we've got, you know him, the Devil May Cry God himself, Rots12. What's up, bro?
What is going on, man? I'm out here surviving. I'm out here trying to survive. Yeah.
What up?
Plus, I had to beat an old lady with a stick to get these cranberries, man.
Oh, Jesus Christ! So you beating old ladies for cranberries? You got people. Yo, I saw the craziest thing today. I saw. Obviously, it was a joke, but you know how they had those the crane machines when you go to the arcades?
Yeah.
I saw one that said this coronavirus thing has got out of hand, and it was filled with toilet paper and Lysol wipes.
Jeez, jeez, man.
No, but for real, stock up on that stuff if you find it and sell it on eBay.
I'm telling you, yo, hand sanitizer alone is already getting spiked up. Like at the gas station, they're selling like the little, I forgot the exact measurement, but the tiny bottles, like not the ones that you see when you go to like an office, the tiny ones for like $4.49, man. It's real.
Yeah. Yeah, I got like 5 of them, man. Yeah, I see people at the gas station, they sell that shit and they jack like, hey man, I got them sanitizers.
Y'all got any more of that Purell though? Don't have to be Purell. It could be anything.
Yeah, well, that's your PS5 money right there.
Hey, I'm saying, man, you gotta secure the bag one way or another if the PS5 still.
Y'all got to think about that. Remember that dude sold that box of Twinkies for like three grand?
Bro, there is legit a kid who got suspended from school, like elementary school, for charging his friends 25 cents for a dab of hand sanitizer.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
That kid knows how to hustle. I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah, but real quick, when the whole thing with Twinkies going out of business, dude sold a box of Twinkies for like $3 grand because everybody thought Twinkies was never coming back.
Yeah, and then whoever bought that felt real stupid because if I recall, they actually announced they were coming back like a few weeks after that.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I have a horrible feeling that was artificial scarcity and that they were never actually going to be fully discontinued, but that's just me.
Somebody.
Yeah, they found a way. They found a way to bring it back. But yeah, y'all, welcome back to another episode. Like I said, this is the first one of the new year, and I have it on good authority that this will not be the last one because just judging based off my work schedule and how things have been going with this coronavirus. Oh, there we go. We're demonetized already. We're going to all have a lot more free time to spend our asses indoors because none of us are going to the movies. None of us are going to go see no shows. Hell, honestly, I might have to stop going to the bars on Tuesdays, man, because it ain't looking so hot out there.
Bro, you might actually get through half your backlog at this point.
Well, hey, I mean, honestly, you know what? I will take that because I've actually been making progress on Judgment. I'm more than halfway done. No thanks to you, bitch. And I've been making progress on it.
You said you didn't want spoilers. What am I supposed to do?
You could have been like, you gotta play Judgment, bro, like this dude Rob does. He eggs me on, and I, with the exception of
I've
one.
been egging you on about that.
Yeah, you've been throwing egg in my face. Nah, but in all actuality, I have been getting I've been making some dents in the backlog. I mean, obviously with the Switch, I play a lot of games at work, but with my new work schedule and then now all this coronavirus nonsense, I have a lot more free time to play games. And if we can make this podcast, like I said, this monthly affair and we just get it done, like I have no problem with it being on a Wednesday or a Thursday. I feel like that's pretty good because weekends right now are just a little out of the question for me. I think that'll be good. But yeah, we might as well just, before we get into some of the topics, just talk about what we've been doing as of late. So like I said, I've been going through Judgment. I've been playing that. That's been my primary game that I've been focusing on. I mean, I'm just going like for the most part 1 or 2 games at a time. I mean, it's from the Ryuga Gotoku Studios, so you know what to expect. You're going to get a great story, over the top crazy gameplay, and I'm loving it. I'm really digging this whole different style of gameplay they're going towards. I mean, it's still very much so Yakuza in a sense. I mean, you can't escape it. I mean, same engine, same people working on it, but it's just so fundamentally different than Yakuza that you can enjoy this one simultaneously. Like after this game, I'm gonna go and play through Kiwami 2, and I'm not gonna look back. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be like, oh, I just feel like it's the same game with a different skin. It's not, because they just introduce a little subtle differences that make it all the worthwhile. And the story, I'm just a sucker for a really big like mystery detective, Conan, you know, Ace Attorney type of thing. And then I've also been playing Breath of the Wild. I got back into that for the 99th time. Just going through that. I just finished up The Last Divine Beast. Yes, I know. And I'm just going through collecting things and taking down the shrines, and I just bought the DLC, so I'm gonna go start that. And lose another 50 plus hours in it. But Danny, what you been up to? I know you mentioned you were playing through Yakuza.
Mostly Yakuza, and a little bit of I tried out Call of Duty Warzone anyway.
All 100 gigabytes of that.
Oh God, don't even. I tried to download it from the PlayStation Store. Couldn't figure out why. Kept saying that because I had the disc version, I had to uninstall that first, and I'm like, why is it telling me that? And then I find out, it's because I have the physical version of Modern Warfare. I actually access it through that, so I had to pop the disc out, pop that disc in, going through there. I don't know why they didn't just make it a separate app.
Wait, Warzone. Wait, rewind a second.
Yeah, you gotta. If you have Modern Warfare, you don't download the game separately. You actually have to go into Modern Warfare, download it as an update for that, and then access it from that game's menu.
So, do you still have to download the 100 gigs or what?
Well, I mean, yeah. You got to download all that.
Why isn't it its own separate
data?
Why isn't it its own separate thing?
I don't know. You ask Activision. They bugging. I don't know.
Oh Lord.
I just think it's one of those. I don't know. I don't even know. I can't even think of a good reason to do that other than just to do it. But it's actually fun. The only thing that I really think it definitely needs ASAP is a singles mode, like a true battle royale mode. I get that people like doing squads in a lot of battle royale matches or duos or whatever, but I just don't like, I'm one of those people who doesn't like to feel like a burden. And when I hopped in there, it was like at the end of the day when it first came out, and I was on a squad with a couple of guys who had clearly been playing for a while and knew their way around the game, and I was just trying to figure it out. And it's one of those things where it's like, you kind of feel guilty because, they're kind of obviously carrying you. And it's like, I just prefer to learn it on my own before I jump into squad play. And the tutorial, they give you a tutorial mode. Only thing it really teaches you is like the mechanics. I thought that they'd give you like a simulated, that's one nice thing about Fortnite. When you jumped into season 2, they dropped you into a simulated match where there were a couple of other players, but mostly bots, so you get a feel for the game and how it works and everything, without getting absolutely slaughtered right away. The COD tutorial was just kind of, here's how this works. Here's how this works. You have armor plates you can find. You have this that you can buy things. It's like, okay, so you're telling me how the mechanics work, but as for the gameplay, you're just going to toss right in there. I guess they figure by now everyone knows how it works, which isn't an unsafe assumption, being honest. It's just, I don't know, not as robust as I expected it. But it's definitely fun. It is.
You see, that's good. I mean, I really wanted to play it because, to be honest, I've had a little bit of an itch for a Call of Duty game. The last one I bought was Black Ops 3, and that was, if you can believe it or not, that was almost 5 years ago. Jesus Christ.
I mean, we could always squad up sometime. That'd be fun.
Yeah, but then it means downloading 100 gigs, and I don't have a data cap, but that's a big investment, bro. 100 gigs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
why are Call of Duty games so massive in size? That makes no sense.
I can explain that if you like me to.
Western lack of compression, Jamil.
Don't give me that.
I swear to God, this man always comes in like Danny called it. Controversial moment.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know the reason why, Jamil, what is it?
Okay, actually, Western developers actually do compress their games, contrary to popular belief. What is happening is that COD update was reinstalled the entire game, but it also added new game modes, and they also optimized it to not only to where it ran better, they actually also decreased the size of the game. So not only did you get extra game mode, the overall size of the game went down from what it would have been. Western devs compress their games. Problem is, most other things in the industry, you can't have 4K, 8K assets and all this other stuff, and then expect it to be like the size of, like, an indie game you find on Steam.
I ain't talk about that. I'm just saying 100 gigs. Jesus.
Yeah, that's serious. They actually do compress their game.
Oh God, I don't even want to know what it would be if it was uncompressed.
Well, I mean, God of War alone is like.
It was uncompressed. You'd see you think the raw file of all this stuff is going to add up to 100 gigs. You wish it was, because then if that were the case, the actual game size would probably be maybe like a quarter of that, maybe somewhere, maybe like around half. You wish the raw size was 100 gigs. No, it's a lot.
That shit. I don't know. For Call of Duty, 100 gigs. Does Battlefield even come close to that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Battlefield have an entire freaking battle royale that has over like 150.
Oh my God! I just realized they have a battle royale and nobody's talking about that. Oh my God.
They do?
Yeah. Oh my God!
That was one of the free things in the update.
I saw that once and then nobody talked about it again. Oh my Lord!
Look, the state is bad listen, the state of discourse is bad when I have to, me of all people, have to defend fucking Call of Duty. Kidding?
That's terrible. This is your company, huh? With 100 gig downloads?
Well, I mean, do you know how much one single 4K JPEG can run uncompressed?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, like 8 megabytes. So, you get animations and that's even slightly compressed. So you get animations and assets and everything that are full 4K.
What do y'all think? Come on now.
No, I know that, but over 100 gigs for that shit? Oh hell.
But another thing that actually makes some game file sizes so big, at least on consoles, the reason Spider-Man's as big as it is because almost every in-game asset in that game is replicated about 4 different times, put on different spots in your drive in order to actually speed up your load time. That's why one of the things Mark Cerny actually pointed out about the PS5 SSD is that because it can naturally load things so much faster, the need to do that actually goes away. So even as developers wind up creating these bigger, wider worlds and everything with heavier assets, all that stuff, in the future, using SSDs as the new standard is going to mean that they can actually do away with that practice, which means that the size of those games would shrink overall. So even when they make bigger games, the file size won't be a whole lot different than what we have now. It'll be bigger, but not like this massive leap forward like everyone thinks it will.
Thank you, Danny.
Yeah, try telling that to the ISPs.
Oh no, I mean that's one of the major issues with a lot of stuff.
ISPs are just greedy, man.
Yeah. That's why. That's one thing the fact that you buy the game and you still gotta download all this shit. It's I might as well just go digital if I'm gonna do this. But oh yeah, everyone, Jamil's here. Jamil, intro.
Oh, hey, what's up?
You sound depressed, bro. You okay?
Not in the best mood right now, but what's up?
Well, a lot of good things are up. We're not dead, for one, so that's a good sign.
I get that.
Damn. Anyway, so, ladies and gentlemen, let's get on to the topics right quick, because we have
Really?
Huh?
Really, nigga?
Yeah, nigga, we are. Because Jamil's depressed. I'm kidding, bro. Go ahead.
Nah. For real though, I've been all good though, man. Man, honestly, over the past month or two, I've been doing some hard retro games.
I've seen that on Twitter. You were playing a lot of was it the original Sonic, or were you playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles?
So far, I'm on Sonic 3 and Knuckles now. I was after I saw the movie, it made me want to play through the old Sonic games. So I beat 1 and 2. That's everybody can play 2, 300. And the first one was hard because you never. It's I'll never take Spin Dash for granted again. And also another thing I was doing, I was trying my best not to use the the immediate save feature, because that's the cop out. And so I've just been now I'm on Sonic 3 and Knuckles, And I'm not just beating the game. I'm trying to get the super emerald so I can get hypersonic and stuff.
Hey.
And yeah, this is it easily. I done easily lost like 12 years off my life already just due to rage. But yeah, it's been pretty fun. I've been inspired ever since seeing the movie. So I was doing that. But also I've mentioned it a few times on Twitter, but I bought a new PS2
Hey.
and I did that solely to play Def Jam Fight for New York.
Bro, bro.
So I bought a new PS2 solely to play Fight for New York and NBA Street Volume 2.
Yes.
Man,
So-
I need to get one of those so I can play Urban Rain again.
Dude.
Yo,
I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn on my PC.
Yeah,
Quit trying to jump topics.
I want some HD remasters. That's what I want. Def Jam, man. Man, I don't even know if we necessarily need a new Def Jam because I feel like they might fuck it
you
up.
need a new one. Just take that game and just make it.
Just make a generic one with a bunch of generic rappers, you know.
I saw-
It's not like the real ones aren't that already anyway.
Ouch. That's a fact. But anyway, I saw an image going on where it was like, yo, new Def Jam game. It was like a concept art, and someone said the disrespect that you had two of the most overrated white rappers in the front and center. I lost it. Who they have? I think they have Machine Gun Kelly, and they had Logic in the front. They had Eminem. They had Eminem on one, and they had Logic in like not the center, but at the bottom. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Man, oh god, I was gonna say if somebody put Post Malone on there, I was gonna.
He was there. He was there on the side.
Oh god.
I mean, realistically, there had to be a cutoff line if you want to
Yeah.
get like mainstream people to buy. You're not gonna be able
Yeah.
to put a lot of the more current people
True.
into that shit, and then at the same time, the licensing to get a lot of veteran rappers probably would be too much to even make
God.
that shit happen.
I can't even. Just the fact that those games ever even happened boggled my mind. That had to have been a licensing nightmare.
That's probably why they can't remaster it.
It is why they can't remaster it.
That's why Crisis Core never got remastered. Likeness.
That's your game, huh?
Yo,
Yes.
That's your company, huh? Hmm.
Yes, actually.
And they won't remaster it, huh?
Uh-huh.
Random side note: there's a whole ass video of DMX going off. I don't know if y'all ever heard it.
Which video?
DMX, him going off about the Def Jam game, talking about like whatever royalty they got from the game. Like he said, he got like 50 cents.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's like off of every dollar or some shit.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I mean, with the way some of them contracts were written, shoot.
Yeah, but it's like it's almost like the whole thing with Young Melee, CJ from San Andreas.
Yeah.
You bring up Grand Theft Auto to him now, he just goes off, bro.
Yo.
Damn, Carl, you is a buster.
Dude, it's
busted, Carl.
it's crazy, especially because you never know. I mean, that brings it back to the whole discussion about like royalties and unions with the voice actors and everything. Because it reminds me, I remember when Nico Bellic, wasn't he only paid like a certain amount for the role, and then that game went on to oh man,
he was making a big fuss about that too.
I remember that was like the first time I ever heard about any of that shit happening with voice actors. I was like, damn. But it's not surprising, man.
Yeah, so I keep thinking about Young Melee. It's like I mean, yeah, it's kind of messed up that he going out, but at the same time, I could probably see his annoyance because how many people probably still hitting him up? And that game came out how long ago? What, 04, 05, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, but overall, I've been doing a lot of because a lot of games I've been waiting for actually got pushed around this time of the year.
Yep.
So I figured instead of just pointlessly buying something, I was like, all right, this gonna be my time to rest. So yep.
Nice. And you, Jamil, what you been playing, man?
Horizon Zero Dawn on my PC. I told you.
Oh God. Sure.
No, I'm kidding. I've been playing Xenosaga and freaking
Well, that explains the depression.
and I played. I've been playing to put like something like kind of, I guess, cheery to like kind of cheer me up. I've been playing a little bit of Final Fantasy 9. So
There you go.
Ooh,
That's
a good
a
game.
good picker upper.
Yay.
Sakaguchi approves.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, now that we've got that out of the way, y'all, let's dive into these topics. You know, we might as well just address the elephant in the room, considering it's what's been making all the headlines as of late. The coronavirus as it pertains to the entertainment medium. We're just going to magnify that a bit and talk about how this year's E3 has indeed been canceled. Now, I mean, if you've been following any amount of news for the better part of 2 months this has been going on, I'm not surprised that it was going to go down this way, especially with how outbreaks happen and everything. And just in general, I mean, I don't want to make this I know some people are making conspiracies that, the ESA is using the coronavirus as a cover-up to cover up for the fact that people don't care about E3 and people are ducking out, but it was the logical thing to do in terms of safety. And when you already have, just literally compare last week with the coronavirus to this week, it's literally been, ramped up 200%. It's insane. So, to me, it's not that big of a deal. I really don't care that it's canceled. It's whatever. That's fine, considering I don't put too much stock in just having the shows exist, considering the games are going to come out eventually. But I definitely do think there's a interesting discussion to be had surrounding E3. A lot of people think that, in light of all this, with it being canceled, this is going to force companies to look at things differently in terms of having this show be the show where they, they have all of their eggs in the basket to show off their stuff. A lot of people assume that now, hey, maybe they can spread some of this stuff out throughout the year. Maybe they'll do their digital event. Things will be different. And it's prompting a lot of people to think that, hey, going forward next year, maybe we don't need to show up at E3. Maybe we can save money and do things our way. Because at the end of the day, if you want to garner hype and generate hype for certain things, I mean, look at what Sony has done in the last year. I mean, they've pulled out of a lot of trade shows, but people are still excited about their games coming out. Before Death Stranding came out, they dropped a trailer on a random Tuesday, and that shit was trending, and it went crazy and ballistic. Same thing whenever Nintendo doesn't have to show up at any of these events, but they put out a direct. I mean, look at all the people who are legit. These dudes out here counting down the days since we haven't had a direct, but it's interesting with social media, and how
Imagine spending all the time, all your time doing that when you could be, showering.
Or, playing games that they hype up and they don't buy,
Hey man, the numbers don't lie. Switch has over 52 million units sold. Astro Chain only sold 1 million. What the fuck going on, bro? Where are the 49 million units at? Or at least the other 5 or 6. Damn it. That actually has me mad.
But anyways, so
support Platinum Games.
People say Platinum Games is a B tier studio, so that's why. That's what I've.
Oh, did you see how the Xbox guys getting pissed off at them?
Oh God.
What? I mean.
Oh, that's right.
They're still talking. Kamiya was kind of drunk a little bit.
I saw that. That shit was funny
during the live stream. Far From Subtle is really making some moves for themselves, by the way. Nice. You guys over at VGA. Yeah, they got to host that live stream. Kamiya was on there and he was kind of drunk, and he basically have yelled at Microsoft to let them buy back the Scalebound IP so they can finish it. And the Xbox guys got all mad and offended and sitting there talking about how they're scam artists who, they got the money to buy back Scalebound, and yet they had to do a Kickstarter to get this funded. It's like, bro, if you thought that he was being 100% serious there, I don't know what to tell you. But, wow, there were a few of them that actually got mad about that. I thought that was funny.
Man, the Xbox guy's delirious right now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Also, on a related note, Xbox Live is down now. I think it's been down about 3 or 4 times now since the last time PSN actually went down.
Oh, snap.
What was that about? The more reliable network being worth more money, and then
SpaghettiOs. But yeah, just
what are they gonna do though? I wonder when all their games are online and Xbox Live goes down.
Ooh, a good question for another time.
Yep.
Make another Xbox.
No, well, Danny, we have a product. We have a product for people like that. It's called the Xbox 360. Thank you very much. Telling you, but
more quality games and I have to go online and get a 360.
Yeah, we go downgrade our games and port them to the 360. That's how we do around these parts. But yeah, just to finish off that discussion, it's prompting a lot of people just to rethink the idea of these big trade shows as a whole, doing different things. And also, I mean, with everything that's happening right now, it probably wouldn't be worth it to travel. I mean, with everything getting canceled left, right, and center, movies getting pushed back, Disney. The fact that Disney has pushed back their releases, canceled productions, and closed Disney World, bro. Oh man, but
Mickey gonna find that cure to keep Black Widow.
Oh, he definitely is. Bro, that's why I'm so surprised. I mean, honestly, I feel like companies are waiting. If I have to make an introduction, I feel like companies are just waiting till the end of April to see how this thing progresses. And I think, honestly, they're probably going to wait until mid-April before they make a distinction on whether or not they're going to push Black Widow. I just have a feeling they're going to wait a bit.
Probably. I will say, though, I actually think, I think it's sort of the opposite. I don't think that this was a cover-up on as far as the whole E3 thing goes.
Yeah, I don't think that either.
I don't either, but I actually think that this, in the long run, might actually save E3, weird as it is to say.
Ooh.
Because if you've been following the news surrounding E3, that was looking like a massive mess. The ESA was like back and forth on everything. They had IM 8-bit in there to like
E3 wasn't looking that great.
They had IM 8-bit in there doing the event planning and everything, and they, in like weeks before things were supposed to be like finalized and put in motion, they withdrew. They said, we're done, we're out, good luck to everybody, but we're not involved anymore. When that happens, that this close to when you have to literally start putting everything into motion just to get it set up, you've got a problem.
Right.
You had other companies saying that they were pulling out both because of the virus and just for other reasons. You had that there were bad things happening with E3, but this might actually buy them some time to actually sit down and think about, why they were losing attendees, why, what can we do differently? How do we restructure from here? And I think that actually gives them an opportunity to come back next year or even later this year. I don't think they're actually going to do that. I think they will stick with their digital thing. But I think it gives them an opportunity like next year to come back stronger and actually have a healthy E3 showing. So this may have actually saved E3, weird as it is to say.
Didn't the rumors say that E3 this year was supposed to be like very influencer?
Oh yeah,
celebrity
and influencers.
Yeah.
Celebrities would be playing the games, influencers playing the games, talking about the games, and it's like that's not what we want to see though.
Yeah,
we want to hear from
in the first place.
Yeah, I mean it's like we want to hear from the people making the games. We want to see people who are actual gamers playing these games. We don't want to see your resident e-girl or e-boy or friggin' Rob Gronkowski playing a video game. You know what I mean?
What the fuck is that?
He was a tight end for the New England Patriots, and he's been doing a lot of like.
He's doing wrestling. He's about to go into the WWE.
Yeah, he's about to do wrestling. He did the New Year's Eve show for Fox. He's doing all kinds of weird entertainment stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know.
I mean, to be honest, I mean that's how it is. I mean, I went to E3 for the first time in 2018, and I mean, for what it was, I enjoyed it. But after going through so many conventions throughout the years, you can definitely tell that E3, literally, people just go to it just to check their bucket list off. As far as the show itself is run, it's way too crowded, especially because they opened it up to the public. And just the way things are handled, if I'm being real about life for a second, I had more fun at the off-site events, like when I got to visit the Xbox booth outside, which wasn't that far away from the event. It was great because, they ran it on their own circumstances, like people waiting in the line. They had like sunshade umbrellas and everything. And it was very cool. It was very well structured and managed when you compare that to E3, where it's just like there's a line to get into the line. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean,
That's not fun.
yeah,
That's
I
not
mean,
fun at
but
all.
that is the ride, man. That is the ride. But yeah, it's like Danny said. I think Danny eloquently said it best. There's no way I can really add on to that. You know, E3 has always been like Christmas. Everyone said it's like Christmas, and it's always cool because June is like a great time to look forward to stuff. But if this is for the best, and if we can just get like better stuff out of this, I'm all for it, because I'd much rather. Go ahead. Someone said something.
Can we get demos again?
I don't necessarily think so. I mean, I feel like that's more of like an industry-wide thing. They don't like putting demos out anymore, which is why I'm surprised Final Fantasy VII got one when it did.
Well, there's apparently going to be a Resident Evil 3 one out. So
Yes.
Well, here's the thing about it. It's like if you have to spend the money to make a demo for E3 showcase, I always figure in an age of digital shit, why don't you just if you're gonna make a demo, why don't you just put it on
Basically, take the same
Well,
build, make
yeah,
it
The
well,
same build and put it.
Yeah, I'd rather you do that. At least then I can actually play it and judge it for myself, as opposed to like
I mean,
a convention
yeah,
trade
you know
show.
what? That's a good point. Because
Like even as opposed to a convention trade show, most people can literally never go to. I live in California and I've never been to E3, and I lived here for 5 years.
I will say I can actually kind of explain why they do that sometimes. One of the reasons that they do demos at trade shows that they won't necessarily release to the public is because when they do it at a trade show, they have somebody right there.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
with
confined.
you.
You know.
Well, it's not just that. It's like if you encounter a glitch, you know, you can tell them about it, and they can either, you know, sometimes they'll say, "Oh yeah, we're aware of this. We're working on it."
Yep.
You know, if there's something that goes wrong or something that they're confused about, they can explain what they're going for. They can make it clear, you know, this is a vertical slice of gameplay, and what you're playing isn't necessarily something that's going to be in the story. So don't worry if this doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense right now, or you know, you're not getting spoiled by playing this or that or the other. They like to have people on hand to kind of talk people through like problems they have, and also, you know, take live feedback, which is not necessarily something that they are able to do very well just putting that out there in the public. And then the public gets the sense of, you know, oh well, this is definitely what the game's going to be like, and that's not always the case.
Yeah, it's hard to sort through the discourse.
I mean,
kind of,
I'm not saying I necessarily agree with that, and I think that people would be a little more understanding, especially nowadays, that a demo is not the final product. But I do remember back in the day, there were a lot of people that I heard passed on certain games just because the demo was like glitchy and didn't, you know,
or they just had like they picked a bad section for the demo. But I think also another reason why is, and people in the chat brought this up immediately, there is the data mining issue that happens, and it's happened a lot recently.
That's on a company base. That's on a company basis though, because if I recall, the RE2 demo wasn't data mined.
But that was like the one exception. Most of the demos that have been released have been data mined, and they've revealed like certain things about it.
What was it? Fighters and Blaze Blue, I believe, had demos, and they didn't get data mined either. That's typically just part of the reason being okay. So one of the main things that comes with demos, this is actually more technical aspect. In order to make a demo, you kind of have to almost, in a case,
make a whole separate game, kind of.
Yeah. That is typically one of the main things with it. Oh, BlazBlue did get data mined.
Yeah,
never mind.
Yeah, that's because I remember y'all were talking about BlazBlue getting data mined.
I don't remember that. I remember Fighters. The Fighters. Okay,
Fighters got data. I thought Fighters got data mined. Hold on,
most of that. No, because they had Raditz in that data mine. Stop it. No, it didn't.
No, hold on. I'm pulling up the article right now, bro.
I thought that I didn't think Fighters got data mined until the actual game came.
Here it is. Found it.
Wait, they did it with the
Fighters. Okay, right here. Here we go. Oh shit. Yep.
Wait,
I'm on the Reddit page.
Yeah,
People are linking the DLC characters.
What the demo that got data mined was in season 3 because
no. This was the demo. This is back in 2018. No. 17.
Oh, okay, there we go.
18 is when the game came out. 17 is when they had that beta. And they're talking about some of the DLC characters. Oh shit.
Yeah.
I think that's the reason.
I remember that.
Okay.
They was talking about Broly. It's like, man, keep adding this good.
Yeah. But honestly, I think it does come down to like what Jamil said. It's like basically making its own separate game, and especially unless they were to release that demo that week, like let's say for example they show off the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo on stage there, they would have to release it like around that same time, or else they'll run the risk of being like, oh, this will be so outdated by release, you know?
I would really say like if it's a game that's like it's second or third E3 show, and by then you should give us a demo.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly,
Because,
I feel like the only reason they put out the 7 Remake demo was because of the delay.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the situations you had to show them something. Like you had to show people something. So
Right. I feel like, did people die?
Coronavirus got me, sorry.
Someone said the coronavirus got Jamil when they heard him coughing.
I didn't
I was waiting for somebody to make that joke.
Yeah.
It's because he said he wasn't in a good mood, so they said he had to. Yeah.
Damn. So, yeah, what about you? What do you think about this whole E3 thing, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a bummer. Yeah, sure, because just in general, you kind of, if you're a gamer, you look forward to see, what gets shown. I will say personally, I don't think any E3 will be better than what was it, that 2016?
Yo,
year?
2016 was fire.
That was fun. And it's like I don't think we don't get. I'm not saying this is necessarily what was going to happen, but I do think we were on like the cusp of developers were going to start announcing games closer to release dates because it started happening a lot more recently. So,
That's right. Yeah. Like
I definitely think that if not this E3, the next one, like we were probably going to be in for something. That's definitely a bummer overall. But I mean, I would hate to just put all the praise on the one side, but you do know it was gonna be mid again when Sony wasn't coming back again, because a lot of people admitted how empty it felt with no Sony last year.
Yeah, that is true. Ironically,
because I'm like, if anything, despite what you love Sony or hate Sony, that when they would show or when they would do like a reveal or something like that, it was always talked about.
Yeah.
And, so I mean, so their presence was didn't even some of the Microsoft people even say that?
Yeah. Phil Spencer said he missed Sony at the show last year.
Yeah, it's like so it already kind of felt empty then. So then, so everything from that point on was just it did all the other business going on. My only thing is that there anybody that had reveals planned, there is no reason to not still go ahead with them. Or you could even wait around that same time to it, or have like a genuine like a E3 YouTube channel. Everybody send trailers or
like a trailer loop.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like there's no reason to push back reveal. Because this can't happen. I mean, simply just review, especially, and I'm about to go.
I know where you're about to go with this. They legit, the only time you ever heard them talk was when this shit happened. Man.
Yo, WB game specifically.
Wait, did they say that? I thought that was just a rumor.
Nope, that was them.
Oh my god, I don't believe that for 2 seconds.
They really said, well, we was about to bring that Batman and this Harry Potter, but now we can't. Now we go wait another 2 years, bro.
They did that on purpose.
Bro. I'm really looking at them. I'm like, yo, that same week, there better be something. There's no excuse to go back in the hole for another 6 months, bro. Like,
Dude.
They're lying. They're not gonna give you anything, Rob. They're not gonna show the Harry. They're not gonna show the Harry Potter game. They're not gonna show a new Batman game
No.
or whatever Rocksteady's working on.
No.
They're liars. They always
They're
have
doing
been.
this on purpose.
No,
No,
because
bro.
DC is
Yeah,
run by a bunch of
they're
filthy
doing
liars.
it on purpose because they want people to talk, but I don't think they were ever actually going to do that. Not by
Yo,
yeah.
how ballsy would it be if they were like, yo, they dropped that trailer and that shit comes out this year?
I mean, I honestly at this point, I think if they don't say that, people gonna start getting feral.
Yo, definitely, absolutely, bro.
Like, I think whenever they announce that game can't be longer than 6 months away,
Bro, dude, Arkham Origins came out in 2013. That was almost 7 years ago.
Bro, like for real. And even if you believe the whole thing about they had one to start all the way over, it's still been like to simply have an announcement. I cannot tell you how many different YouTube channels that's been stalking every piece of Arkham news about this game. And they all, it's like, I mean, how many people uploaded a video? WB Montreal, they what they said, they opened up a new website. Fear the Owl or some crap.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then they said, if you look here on the website, every 2 weeks there's a new emblem posted on this map.
Oh my god.
So if my calculations are correct, in 2 weeks there should be another emblem, and in 2 weeks it was crickets. Nothing.
They're doing this on purpose, man. I feel like they have this game. It's ready. It's almost ready to go, and they're just like, "Nah, we go toy with y'all."
Bro,
I mean, Oh, go ahead, Rob.
No, I was just gonna say real quick. I mean, they pulling out domains. They got so many teaser websites. They had employees wearing the track jackets with the coat of owl symbol on the back.
Yeah. Yo, these fuckers, yo, nah, bro.
That game is probably gold, right? They just gotta say it gold. That game is gold already. It's just they just playing it. Bro.
That's some cocky shit, bro. That's some cocky shit.
Bro, it's crazy, right? So that's why I'm like so hard on it, because I'm like, all right, the longer y'all wait, this game better slap. I'm talking about Ike Turner slap.
Yo, relax.
Man, imagine putting in all that work and get ready to drop that game only for Insomniac to reveal that Spider-Man 2 is in development.
Yo, Sony would do that shit. That's what Sony did this week.
They did. That's what they did with They didn't even. That's actually a nice segue into the next topic.
Yeah, let's do it.
But like, they didn't even drop that in a proper announcement. Herman Hulst just says it as kind of an aside in the middle. There was like a good 7 minutes before that and a good like 8 minutes after that of that interview where he just says, oh yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn is coming to PC this summer. Trending, instantly trending. Nobody talking about Ori anymore. Even 92 Metacritic, nobody talking about that. Nobody talking about that game at all. Horizon Zero Dawn, a 3-year-old game, is instantly trending. But, like, I mean, this is the same company that all they did was reveal a logo and it got more interaction, positive interaction, mind you, than the entire Xbox Series X reveal. I mean, this company is they're making power moves at this point. They're rubbing it in.
That's some baller shit right there. They come out here. I had to do a double take for a second because I got the notification on my phone because I have like the Google alerts or whatever. And it said Horizon Zero Dawn confirmed for PC. And the article took me to a link, which brought me to Twitter. And if you look at Sony's, the tweet that PlayStation put out, it was a link to the article. It wasn't about Horizon coming to PC. And then I had to scroll. I was like, yo, these fuckers.
They knew exactly what they were doing with that.
Jesus. That's terrible because Ori is, for all accounts, everyone's saying it's a Game of the Year contender. And they just put that shit. Like, what?
Oh no, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It looks like a pretty game. I mean, it looks like somebody spent a few hours in dreams. But anyway,
Hey,
Bruh.
no, I'm
Chill.
serious though. You probably could remake that game, and they're looking almost the
nah,
same.
but the
No,
emotion.
that's not a knock on the game. That is not a knock on the game. That's actually just
They gonna
how
they gonna take this.
amazing Dreams
They
is.
gonna
But
take this podcast and they gonna quote that, and we gonna get canceled.
I gotta play Ori because the guy that made AM2R worked on it after
Oh,
Nintendo.
really?
I wanted to buy the first one. The first one was actually on sale for only $5.
It's on sale right now for $5.
Yeah, I just don't have $5.
Oh, damn.
How many games are there? Just 2.
Yeah, there's Ori and the Blind Forest, and then there's Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
I'm
Yeah,
not too
part- this is
familiar.
part 2.
I'm not too familiar with Ori. I mean, the only familiarity I have is I know they took the music from Ori and used it on this sick Sonic fan game I saw.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
I mean, it's a nice little platformer. It's no Astrobot, but it's good.
Yo, I heard Astrobot, one of the best games.
Oh, dude, Astrobot, like I'm not even kidding when I say VR is like the next place platformers need to go because oh my god, that changed up the experience so much. And Astrobot, just from like the aesthetic and the way they have that little thing, I would die for that little robot. Okay, that thing is adorable as hell.
Oh, shit. There you go.
And so are all the ones that you rescue, and it's adorable and it's so cute. And the way that they integrate the VR in like a 3D environment too, and like you actually have to turn and look around stuff, and like look down and around stuff, and look up and behind you to find where some of those bots are hiding. It's there's some puzzle platforming involved in that too. Like some of them are not just a straight shot. You actually have to go up here, trip that, come back around, go back that way, and go up the thing you just tripped over there, and then go up and get them. And then you actually have to like hover back down and try to time it properly. And then like there's just a lot of cool stuff. And the boss fights aren't like you gotta think with some of those too. It's really good. It really is.
Nice.
Which is, I mean, there's a reason that the guy who directed it is running Japan studio.
Oh, snap. You serious?
Speaking
Yeah,
of which,
he got promoted.
speaking of Dream, I've been looking through like old gameplay, and I even downloaded a ROM. I'm going to try my best to remake SMT1 and Dream. Hopefully Atlas doesn't.
You gonna get it done way before Atlas ever puts out another game.
Yo, like,
Yeah,
shit, you'll be able to knock that out.
Mm-hmm.
You could actually have Persona 1 and 2 remake
Do you
too.
know how long that would take me to remake all 3 of those?
It'll still take you less time.
You'll probably still be out before the next Batman game's revealed.
Oh.
Yeah, more than likely. So
Oh.
I mean, my only thing with all this is it's like
yeah,
what
Ori and the Blind
fuck?
Forest is $5 on Steam, y'all. Go ahead and do that. Look at
Yeah.
that. This game is so beautiful.
It's pretty.
I heard it made people
Wait a
cry.
man, that was one of those games I've seen people crying at
Am I
the trailer. And I
progress
didn't get it because I didn't play it.
Yeah, I heard people was crying. I'm like, hey, yo, what? Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
I don't know about that.
Yo, Master Chief Collection. Let's go. I think they added Halo 1 to it. Hold on.
I think Jamil's been trying to say something for like 10 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah, he really. Yeah,
My progress didn't. No, I'm just saying my progress didn't get saved, and I'm kind of upset.
Aw.
Aw,
nah,
that
And I'm-
sucks.
And I'm playing Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, so
Someone said Shin Megami Tensei 5 releases in 2055. At this rate,
That's a
along
generous.
with, part 2 of Final Fantasy 7.
let me think. The rule
Some-
of 9. Hold on, the rule of 9. So give it like another 2 to 3 more years.
Hey, Jamil. If we did a poll, asking Nintendo fans if they'd rather have Shin Megami Tensei 5 or a Persona 5 port.
I don't want to talk about that.
What do you think?
I
What do
will
you
do
think
that.
would win?
I will do that. I will do that right now. I'll do it on Twitter right now.
Oh, that'd be.
Here we go. I'm doing it right now.
I think, yeah, do not make a both option. Do not
no,
let them.
no, I got it right now. XP Podcast question of the stream. Which would you rather prefer?
That whole movement I was just like,
got it right now.
And it's all because somebody who didn't even have the authority to say something said something.
Yeah, I'm surprised she didn't get fired from that because I'm like, why would you say that?
I will put this poll up. Oh God!
Like, you know what's finna happen.
Tweeted.
I'm gonna be honest, Jamil. We missed like 90% of that.
Yeah, we heard fired, and then Atlas was like, "What?
What is wrong with my mind? Can y'all hear me?
You're still cutting out.
Probably got the auto gain.
What? Hold on.
I don't know why Discord just keeps turning on for people.
Hello?
Oh,
Hi, how you doing?
Hi.
Okay. So apparently I can't run PCSX2 and this at the same time.
No, that
Discord's been spotty all night. If that makes you feel
that
any
too.
better.
Literally everybody's using it right now.
Anyway,
Discord got the corona.
Anyway, SMT5 will probably, my honest guess, 2022 or 2023.
Bro, Jesus Christ, that's like 6 years after the announcement.
That's why I call it the rule of 9.
9 years.
No, that's how ever since like typically like what was I think the gap between SMT 2 and 3 was 9 years, and the gap between SMT 3 and 4 was about 9/10 years. So the rule
gap between Persona 4 and Persona 5 was about 9 years.
Yes, actually.
Oh my God!
It was 8
between the two final.
It was 8.
Parts,
it was 8 years. It was 8 years.
Almost 9. Almost
Yeah.
9 now. Technically, it was 9 for us.
It was 9 for us.
Well, oh my God, Atlas.
Wow, it's gonna be 68 degrees tomorrow here. That's whoa.
Okay, but back to the topic we were actually
Hey,
trying to
y'all can go
segue
outside.
to.
Yeah.
The topic we were actually trying to segue to.
Eight and a half years, Jamil. 8.5 years for Japan. Oh my God. They just got under it. So all right, yeah, go ahead. So back to the topic we were going to segue.
Like I said, you got to make room for all the tangents we go.
We got to see. That's why I only put like 3 topics. But yeah, yes, everyone, we have heard about that apparent leak. We'll talk about it later. But yeah, so back on point to another controversial thing that happened this week. Horizon Zero Dawn confirmed to be headed to PC on Steam.
That's what I was trying to segue to, actually.
Yeah, exactly. It's confirming a lot of the rumors for the longest time. For the past couple months, there was like leaks that Horizon was coming to PC. We all thought that those leaks were squashed when it ended up just being PlayStation Now. And then Herman Hulst just comes out of nowhere and says, yeah, it's coming to PC this summer.
Okay. You know what I think might have actually happened? I think that it might have actually been a sort of a... well, here's the thing. I think that... No, I don't want to say necessarily this, but I think that they were kind of thinking about it, and then when they saw everybody talking about it, especially... leading up to it hitting PS Now, and then probably seeing how well it performed on PS Now, they're like, you know what, we got our engine's up and running on this. We can do this now. Why don't we just do it? Which I think is also part of why he said what he said when he said, in this particular case, Horizon just seemed like a good fit to do this with, and it's because Kojima is doing Death Stranding, which is in the same engine, and that's going to PC. So
Sleep Stranding.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. That's Rob, did you ever finish that game? Because I remember the last time this man had a damn near conniption playing it.
Eventually, yeah.
Oh my gosh. We'll come back to you later, but continue, Danny.
Yeah. So, but anyway, either way you want to slice it, it's happening. It's coming. Now, I know that a lot of people have a lot of back and forth about that, especially considering how he qualified the statement, but it is definitely coming. There's a Steam page up for it already, in case people didn't know, because I've seen a lot of people arguing back and forth about whether or not it would be on the Epic Games store.
Oh, God.
But no, it's up on Steam. I don't know if they have plans to put it up anywhere else.
Real quick, imagine that there's a world where people they beg for a game to be on the PC, but then they got to beg like which launch.
Oh.
No, that was the thing. Like
Origin
people were
exclusive.
saying that. People were saying
Like,
if it comes to PC and it's on the Epic Game Store, I'm pirating it right off the bat. It's like
it might as well not even be on the PC.
I mean,
I just
I'm gonna be blunt with you though. There are actually people already saying that they're planning on pirating it just because they're not giving Sony any money.
Yeah, of course.
Who
Until
pissed,
they
who
say
pissed in their cornflakes? I wanna
Oh
know.
no, they're saying that they're not giving them any money until they put all their exclusives on PC.
Oh,
Then
God.
they'll buy. Yeah, see that's the beautiful part. They're getting that now suddenly. I love this too because it's like all these dudes, all these PC guys, you know, and all the Xbox guys, they keep saying that you know Sony exclusives are just these generic B-grade movies with occasional button presses and generic over-the-shoulder third-person locking simulators and yada yada. The second this is coming to PC, they are literally lining up to buy. In fact, shortly after the announcement, Steam had such an influx of traffic that they were having a hard time handling it. Even tweeted about their servers kind of getting hit hard.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
Yeah. So there is definitely sudden interest in this game. But you know what? It was the same way with when PS Now finally hit PC. Believe it or not, there was actually the most streamed games on that service the second it hit PC were the Uncharted games, which, as I recall, a lot of the PC guys were saying were crap.
Oh shit.
Generic movies,
That's how
B-grade
it
films.
always is.
But the second they have access to it, they're there.
Yeah.
And I don't get, and that's why I cannot stand it when people try to say, you know, well, whichever community I'm part of, we don't do the fanboy thing. We don't sit there and crap on games just because they're not coming to our platform. Yes, the hell you do, bro. You do. Everybody does. Everybody's got fanboys that do that. And when you pretend you don't, you just look dumb.
Yeah. You can have every active console right now and still be a fanboy. I don't.
And it goes the other way too. Now you got people who were PlayStation guys who said Horizon was a mediocre game anyway.
Yep.
Now, back when Hellblade was a PlayStation exclusive, it was amazing to the PlayStation
I did
guys.
see that. That was funny.
And the
Yep.
Xbox guys said it was garbage. And then the second it hit Xbox, you know, Hellblade's amazing to them, and to the PlayStation guys, it's a mid-tier game. It's like
Fanboys will be fanboys.
yep, nobody's immune to it, and you can like Nintendo people though are now pretending like they didn't care when Bravely Default went to PC
Octopath Traveler.
or Octopath Traveler, yeah, that, and they did. They've also expressed being upset that it was ever going, or that people were talking about moving Astral Chain to any other platform.
Right.
Bayonetta 3 and 2, they think if they go anywhere but Nintendo, that would be wrong, etc., etc. They're not immune to it either. They just haven't found themselves in a scenario where they really have to hardcore experience that.
Danny.
Yeah.
You copping Hellblade 2?
No.
Is it because it on the Xbox?
No, I could get it on my PC if I wanted. I just don't think there should be.
Wait, you have a gaming PC?
Yeah, he's had a gaming PC. Yeah, his laptop.
What the hell?
Yeah, bro, where you been?
What do you think I put all my Steam games on, bro?
Oh, someone said I need to. Someone says mute your Discord sound. You're giving me anxiety, Neo. I'm sorry. Literally, because I have another chat going in. They're going off. But yeah. Just to add on to what Danix just said, didn't Sony used to have PC devs before the release of PS4? Yes, they did. In fact, Sony, well, PlayStation has published games on Steam before. They've published Arrowhead Ultimate Co-op Collection, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, Guns Up, and Helldivers. So
they also published Ready Set Heroes recently.
Oh, there you go.
They sort of co-published Journey.
Yeah.
You know what?
But it's always been like smaller games usually. Although back in the PS1 days, what they're doing now with Horizon, at least what Holst says they're doing now with Horizon, is actually similar to what they did back in the PS1 days. Because after Twisted Metal had been out for a while, they ported it to PC. Twisted Metal 2 ported it to the PC. Wipeout, they actually ported some of those games to the PC.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the first time they've done this. And it also, back then too, it didn't mean that they didn't still have exclusives that were only on their hardware.
So all this Horizon thing has showed me that like I was right. Exclusives are cancer.
I just turned off the message notification, y'all.
Okay,
I was
sir, sir,
exclusives are cancer.
sir, I will fight you on that. I
No.
will fight you. They are important.
No, important, and important to you guys breaking your dang living rooms over. I bet they are.
Oh my god, I don't break my dang living room. I'm too poor to do that. I wouldn't be able to replace a dang thing.
Yeah.
I
You
get
know what that is though? I'm like yeah, we can get psychological. What that is, people breaking their room and all that stuff. That almost, yeah, it's partly to do with, but that's also, you know, that old famous sign about keeping your words short and sweet in case you might have to eat them and stuff. Like that's what it is. Having faith that, you know, they've been in this big old argument and now they on the downside of it because they got that's what.
I mean, I'll be real.
no.
Every single time I've talked about SMT5, Astral Chain, or Bayonetta, or No More Heroes 3 going to PC, people be like, why don't you get a Switch? Joke's on you, I did, and it'll be here March 18th. I got the Animal Crossing one, but that's not the point I was bringing up.
Nice.
Like,
How'd you
Animal
find one
Crossing,
of those?
nice.
yes, I have one.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, my whole thing about it is, I don't particularly, because my favorite games are typically third-party games anyway. I don't have like a whole like that much a big issue with first-party games. My whole issue is this entire industry, not even just the publisher, not even the console manufacturers, the third-party publishers as well, do jack all to preserve their games. So if you're like me and you like a lot of your games, typically most of them are stuck on old hardware. And that is becoming a glaring issue as time goes on. As I had said, I literally had to emulate Xenosaga because you can't play it on literally anything right now.
But would you say that's more because they just don't want to preserve the games themselves? Because the only way you can circumvent that problem is if it was on PC. That's the only platform where you would never have that problem. If that game was on PS4, Xbox, and Switch later down the road, you need to have one of those systems in order to play it if they don't port it again. PC is the only platform that's really future-proof.
Well, that depends on
that brings me to my second point. Not even just but I don't want preservation just for PCs. I truly believe if you're a console person, I really believe that I think consoles should have back compatibility every generation.
They should.
Oh yeah.
Should.
They
should. I know it's not, and I know it's not the easiest thing to do, and I know not everything's going to be able to work out because some games probably can't get brought forward. You know, some of them being due to licensing, like GoldenEye or whatever. But like some of these other games, because what was it? There's this YouTuber named Norel, right? And he did a video on this, and he was like, licensed games don't even make up most console libraries. Even if you like cut out the licensed game, there's still so many games that are just lost, and they're just, and like I said, some of them are just like first party games, and Nintendo is arguably the worst at that. Like, I like F-Zero, but God forbid anything F-Zero just gone forever. People think
Nintendo like literally hates game. I'd say it's emulation, but no, they straight hate game preservation. Period. Because there were people who would like collect, just collect, not even distribute, but collect like ROMs of old Nintendo games that Nintendo either can't or won't bring forward, and they'll still send them cease and desist. They'll still.
Yeah, man. Why do you want to play them old things where you can play that new woke ass Mario Party game?
Oh, and it gets better because like they'll DMC at those people for those ROMs and take those ROMs and then sell them back to people.
Literally,
oh, I know. One of the like several, I think, of the virtual console games that they've sold, people have actually discovered are ROMs that they
had definitely
down offline. Exactly. They just use them. And it's because it turns out one of the reasons they weren't bringing those forward is they weren't actually preserving.
Nah, they literally only brought it forward because it was popular, and they're like,
Yep, but it's like, we can't bring it forward, but hey, here's this ROM. Let's just sell this.
Yeah, why are you getting the ROM for Super Mario World when you can play the original Super Mario Brothers for the 15th millionth time?
Hell yeah. Someone asked, so we have some questions here. Oh yeah, we have a lot of questions. Jesus Christ. Let's scroll up a bit. Okay, so this question's for Jamil. They say, wasn't Xenosaga hard to... Where I just lost the question. Wasn't there problems trying to port Xenosaga to the other consoles? I've heard something about that in passing.
It's a mix of things, because the issue with Xenosaga is Harada said if they do anything with Xenosaga, he wants Monolith to be involved. Problem is, Monolith Soft is not owned by Nintendo, so they just can't take Monolith Soft and have them, do anything with Xenosaga. They need Nintendo's permission, and you could probably imagine that, probably didn't work out well.
Oh, Nintendo, as I recall, didn't they report that Nintendo basically said if anything like that happened, it was exclusive, and that was
Probably, most likely.
Because he said, because the way it was we'll make enough money, but then Harada also said that he wants, if it was a remake of Xenosaga or just a remaster, like he said, he wants Monolith involved. And I think that's a good practice, because Square did something similar. The dev team that made Final Fantasy Tactics or whatever, or Vagrant Story or whatever, they brought them back to make some other game, because Square themselves was like, we don't know how to do that game. So they let them make it in their own vision. I think that's kind of cool. But again, that's the problem. It's it'd be the exact same issue. Let's say Square was like, you know what? Let's go back to Xenogears and have, finish out Xenogears. You'd be the exact same issue, because they would need Monolith.
Are you sure it wasn't you said Tactics? Was it Tactics Ogre?
Yeah, I think that was it. Tactics Ogre. Yeah. They had them come back and make it, because the dude who wrote the previous game did, I think the dude who wrote Final Fantasy Tactics also wrote Final Fantasy Tactics Ogre, whatever that game is.
I think I remember something like that.
Yeah, that's the main issue.
Right.
I should actually probably, I mentioned what Herman Hulse said, but I don't think I ever actually said what he said. Getting back to the Horizon thing.
He also did. So you were right. He did do Vagrant Story too. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But getting back to the whole Horizon on PC thing. One of the things that I thought was interesting, and I know there's been a lot of discussion about that, and I think we might need to do a little bit of a discussion about it here, is when he mentioned that, this doesn't necessarily mean every game's coming to PC.
Right.
This was a particular case, and we're still 100% dedicated to dedicated hardware, and, we know exclusives are important to that, and they're not going anywhere. People have said that Phil Spencer said similar back when they first put, what was it, Quantum Break, I think,
Quantum
on PC?
Break, I remember that. Oh, when you should have consulted with the Xbox gamers before
you
made that decision.
That was hilarious. I love that. Wasn't that Crab Gamer?
Crab Gamer.
That's a character. That's a character arc right there.
You should have consulted with the Xbox.
You should have asked us if this is what we really wanted. No, and he said, "Spoiler, it's not."
Yeah, that man's had a real character arc though. But
sound like an anime.
Yeah, it's. Well, kinda. I mean, he's about as flamboyant as an anime character. Yeah. But no, it's one of those things where it's like, do you believe that he's telling the truth versus Phil Spencer? I'm gonna go ahead and say that I do believe him more than I do Phil for two reasons. One, Phil, before that and since then, has kind of shown us that he can stretch the truth a significant bit.
Lie.
Yeah, lie. Just flat out, straight face lie.
Go ahead.
But also, the thing about that is, as much as Phil can lie, I'm still not 100% sure that he actually wanted to do that. I'm not even 100% sure that he 100% wanted to pivot entirely to services, especially given some of the stuff he said before. Bear in mind, there was a big power struggle, and it was a big, obvious power struggle inside Xbox in terms of whether they were doing hardware or whether they were going to pivot to services and PC releases.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And you could
the
tell because
Xbox
Phil,
Civil War.
Phil would say one thing one day, and then Greenberg would say something else, and then Phil would say something else, and then Greenberg would say something else, and then Major Nelson would say a third thing that was neither
That
of those
clown.
two things.
True.
Yeah, but and then finally it's like, nope, you can tell somebody won because they're pivoting to services. But that's also because Microsoft itself, the entire company, is pivoting to services. I mean, you know that all versions of Windows basically going forward are free, right?
What?
Yeah, Windows 10 completely free now, no matter what. Even if you have the previous version of Windows, completely free.
I did not
And
know
that's going to
that.
be the practice going forward, or at least deeply discounted from what it used to be at the very least. That's because they are pivoting everything to be a service. All their stuff, like Office, everything, almost every program they used to have that came with Windows is now going to be a subscription service.
Can they service us some good games? Damn, shit.
Ooh,
Yeah,
can they service us some games? Period.
Mm-hmm.
But that Xbox is now no exception. That they are pushing Game Pass really hard. They are, and I know that Phil tries to say, no, we're not taking a loss on this. Phil, I'm going to say it straight to his face. Phil, you are so full of crap, it's not even funny. You do not have the service writing out the checks that you are writing to all these companies and partnering with Spotify for 6 months of that free. And, having constant $1 deals and $10 for a
Lord.
full year. You do not have those kinds of deals without taking a financial loss. And it's fine. I expected them to take a financial loss because in the long run, will they retain people? Is it worth it to get people to sign on and hope still stay on? Absolutely. And you come out with games in the meantime to make it clear that, hey, we're going to stay on. But no, he's trying to say, no, we're not losing money on what we're doing right now. That's a crock. But the fact that they are trying so hard to push these services and make it seem like these services are so, okay, here's what okay. I think that what they're doing is they are basically pre-undercutting the competition. In that they are operating at a loss. All right? They are operating it at a loss. But they're saying to the public, the general public, that they're not, And the reason I think they're doing that is because then when these other these other streaming services do step up, and they do try to compete, people are going to wonder, why aren't you having these kinds of deals? Why aren't you having this kind of discount? They're doing it. Why aren't you? And it was sort of the effect that the Epic Game Stores try to have with Steam, and that, hey, we can give games away for free. Why isn't Steam? Maybe you should ask Steam then, huh? Well, Steam, why aren't you doing free games? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they were hoping for. Now, it doesn't always take, obviously, but I think that part of what they're doing there is they're trying to make it seem like these are a lot more affordable than they are. And then when these other companies are trying to compete, they can't. And that's because Microsoft, they're operating at a loss, but they can afford to buoy it for a while, especially since it's also promoting their Azure servers, Look what we can do on here. And of course, it's working. I mean, Sony's even considering renting those out to use for not just their games. I know a lot of people say it's PlayStation, but it's not. It's Sony as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So that includes their movies, their music, their everything. So, it's that kind of thing. They're sort of pivoting toward that, and I think that's part of why, Microsoft's taken the direction that it has. When it comes to Sony, I don't see them trying to do that, especially with how well their hardware has worked out for them. And just the sheer amount of money they make off of third-party game sales, they're not going to want to risk cutting too heavily into their hardware. So they are still going to have exclusives. They are still going to have, if they do PC releases, there's going to be a gap. definitely going to make sure they can get as much mileage out of the game on the console before they do that. And from there, I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen, but they are not going to risk their hardware brand because that's big for them. When it comes to Microsoft, they're not seeing hardware as big for them anymore. They're seeing services as big for them. So, I mean, I think we have kind of two sides of the coin here, I could see both companies doing PC releases in the future. In fact, I'm almost positive that the next PlayStation game you're probably actually going to see hit PC is Dreams. And I think that'll happen just because of the community aspect and everything. And the more people playing that, the better for the game. but yeah, it's a thing that's going to happen. And he also mentioned that, part of it was to kind of put out feelers out there and show PC gamers, maybe what they're missing not playing on PlayStation. So I think part of it too might be, honestly, I think we might actually be getting a Horizon 2 announcement soon.
I wouldn't be surprised. It is about that time.
And what I don't think it's going to be a launch title for the PS5 like some people think. Aww. But I think they're going to announce it like probably when they do the PS5 reveal, which will still incentivize people to buy it. And I don't think it'll be a far out launch though, but it's going to be like a later launch, not the launch window.
So you think within the first 6 months, like Infamous Second Son?
Well, first 6 months to a year. Maybe I'm more comfortable saying a year.
Oh,
like the next holiday, maybe.
I wish that was because we have not had a killer launch title for a system in forever.
Well, I think we're gonna have some surprises too. I think that
hope
this one though, yeah. I think
if they launch Horizon 2 with the PS5, that'll be great because Breath of the Wild, I mean, it was already done, and they just ported it. But we haven't had like a killer. When was the last killer launch game for a system?
Rise.
I mean, people will argue Breath of the Wild.
Rise, if you believe the Xbox.
Nah, Bloodborne came out 2015.
Yeah,
I wish Bloodborne was a launch title.
Bloodborne was like mid 2015, I think.
Yeah, it was like a whole year and a half.
Yeah. But
Dead Rising 3. Oh god.
Oh god.
Yeah. Good joke.
Stop. Dead Frame Rates 3.
Dead Frame Rate 3.
But no, I think that the reason that we might be getting this one specifically too is, like I said, I think a Horizon 2 announcement's on the horizon.
Look at you. Look at you, Danny.
And I think that part of what they're doing here is like, hey, that game you just played, you had to wait 3 years for it, but you really liked it, right? Well, the sequel, it's coming out over here and it's on this system. And sure, maybe you can get it in about 3 years or so if you're patient. But, if you really liked it, wouldn't you rather hop on there and play it now? Or even if it's not the hardware, like you've been selling PS Now that way, that can give people on their service too. Like, hey, that game that you have on your PC that you like, you can stream the sequel now. All you got to do is sign up for PS Now.
Psych.
So I'm not going to write it off completely. I do think that Danny, like you said, they are going to focus on the exclusives more. Mm-hmm. But I would not be surprised if this game does sell further down the road. They'll port some of the older titles, but I don't think we'll see any day and date stuff.
Oh, no, definitely not. Like I said, that would kill their console.
They got enough sense to know their bread and butter. Like, it's got to be on their dime.
Will it kill their console though?
Yeah, it would. It actually.
Are you sure though? I mean, because let's be real about. Okay. I'm just gonna be real. Listen, I'm gonna be real about life for a second. As I've gotten older and I've been hanging around with a lot of people out there in the real, like the majority of people who buy the systems, they aren't the ones who we're talking to daily. They ain't hyped for Persona. Yeah. They ain't hyped for this.
I know. It will though. Okay, let me rephrase that. It won't kill their console, but it will cut into it, and it'll cut into it a lot sharper than people think.
I don't know about that. I don't
think that. The reason it cut into Xbox so bad is here's the one key takeaway from here. Those games weren't good.
And also, Jamil, the fact that they weren't good, Microsoft also announced that they were going cross-platform like months before they came out too. Like when Break, yeah.
No, like what I'm saying though is is one of the things though about their console and the sales for their console is that oh god, I lost my train of thought. Okay, no. One of the things about the PlayStation brand is, contrary to popular belief, even though the exclusives aren't like first and foremost all massive, they do sell a system. Like, I know for a fact that there were when Bloodborne came out, that was an exclusive. Sales for that console spiked.
Yeah, they did.
When Uncharted 4 came out, sales for that console spiked. When God of War and Spider-Man especially came out, sales for that console spiked.
They did.
Like, they do help move a significant number of consoles.
And I'm gonna say this.
Yo, Chris, I heard that.
What? I didn't say anything. What did I say?
Well, Days Gone came out at a time when the platform's lifespan was
no. I'm just saying. Days Gone. It may not have moved units, but it sold software. That's what I was gonna say.
Well, it did. It sold.
I was gonna be nice. I was gonna be nice.
Yeah, I know it did. But what I'm saying though, there is that, it does sell hardware, and it would cut if these people didn't have to jump on there to get it. It would cut a bit into their sales enough to make an impact, because it means they're getting less money from PS Plus subscriptions. It means they're getting less money from third-party game sales from people who buy it.
Well, to be fair, though, wouldn't they make that up on PC digitally, though, where they get more revenue?
Not necessarily.
Why is that, Danny? Please.
Well, because if they're selling on PC and they're selling in someone else's PC store.
No, but it's still, bro. Yeah, of course. The most amount of money PlayStation makes is when they're on their store. Is when they're on their store. But retailers, they make like $8 per game. Steam, what's the percentage, Jamil? It's a high percentage.
70. They get 70.
So that's possible.
Steam keeps 30. In order to offset the loss from that comfortably, they would have to. But that's also part of why I don't think they're going to do it. I just don't.
I mean, you gotta factor in common sense. I know a lot of people that will be patiently go, okay.
Yeah, a lot of people are a lot more patient.
Yeah,
that's another problem.
There are some people that'll go 3 years. All right, I'll just play.
3 years? I ain't waiting 3 years to play something. I'll wait 3 months. 3 years?
Yeah. Some people do. Some people don't.
How do PC players like an Arkham Knight right now? Oh.
No, I
never came back out.
If you told me something is coming 3 months down the road, sure. Like Rise of the Tomb Raider, I ain't buying it on Xbox. I'll get it on PC 3 months later. But if you told me 3 years, bro, you know how long 3 years is?
Keep in mind, they're still going to sell that thing. Keep in mind, they would still sell that thing at full price in 3 years anyway. Exactly. So it's like, why would you wait?
Is it? Did they confirm Horizon's full price, or it's $40?
It's probably if it's not whatever they're gonna sell it as is gonna be more expensive than what you can buy it for now.
Well, of course, the depreciation. The game is
that's my point.
Honestly,
that's why I told all those people. That's why, with the whole Persona 5 thing, I was like, why wait for Persona 5 on Switch when you can literally get it on Amazon for $17 right now?
Well, they don't want to buy a PS4, even though they'll spend more than twice the amount they spend on that on a new dock. But anyway,
or Joy-Cons.
Man, I still can't believe they sell that dock for as much as they do. It's a tiny circuit board with an HDMI cable, fam. Come on.
But anyway,
I do think that day and date is not a thing we're probably ever going to see. At least, definitely not this gen.
Yeah, I'll be interested. I mean, there is that rumor that
with one exception, I think that multiplayer.
Yep, I knew you were going to say that. I was about to bring that up.
Just because, again, that those need a big player base. So, that I think might be the only exception.
Crossplay Last of Us Part 2. Let's go.
Because, I think, and I'm pretty sure everybody'd be okay with that on principle, just because.
Oh, God,
if it's a multiplayer only game, it's understandable. You need to get people in there as possible to keep it alive.
Of course. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much all we got to say on Horizon going to PC. Now, let's tackle now this one. I had heard rumblings and rumors about it, but it's the game industry. You hear rumors about everything. 90% of them don't come true until Danny, you brought this to my attention today. So you want to lead? I don't want you. I'm sorry, I'm making you lead off 2 topics, but you're the one who brought this up. So
yeah, I still got it open too because I had to keep it open. Their site crashed when they reported.
I know what happened.
Yeah. So basically, there've been rumblings for a while from some people who were part of good old Team Silent back in the day, and also people at Kojima Productions having to do with Silent Hill. Some clues, some cryptic tweets, some little hints here and there that maybe something was happening, but then everything just kind of went quiet. But now this report has come out, and there have been a few sites reporting this, saying they have sources on it, and some of them have sources back to this, but others have said they have their own source. So that's interesting. Apparently, there is in fact a Silent Hill reboot project going on that is actually being spearheaded by PlayStation. In fact, the source is claiming that they're actually doing what they are assuming is a sort of Resident Evil style reboot out of the Resident Evil remakes for the
I'm sure
Silent
they
Hill
waited to
series.
see the coast was clear.
Yeah, probably. But now the thing is, this is being developed, according to this source, first party. This is the big project that Japan Studio has been working.
Right.
And they actually have Team Silent members back on there. And they have team members from Project Siren.
What?
Yep, who are working on this too.
Yo!
So that's interesting. But also, apparently, SIE has been kind of playing mediator and trying to get Konami to allow. This is from a second source, so keep that in mind. So, and I've only seen this site with this second source, but Kojima's people were kind of tweeting about this.
He did. There was that. Oh my god!
They're kind of playing mediator with Konami and Kojima to try to revive Silent Hills and bring it to life as at least a standalone project.
Right.
Now, whether or not it'll still be part of the Silent Hill IP, that I'm not sure how that's going to work. Whether or not Konami will even actually agree to it 100%, I don't know. I'm not even sure how Sony can do this unless they either bought or licensed the IP, in which case Konami might not actually be involved at all. If they were licensed, if they did license it, then I don't think they need to worry about Kojima ever having to work with Konami, because he'd be working with them and they'd be working with Konami. So, yeah, it's starting to look like Silent Hill may actually be back.
Whoa. I'm looking up an article right now, and they're talking about 2 games, one of which is the Silent Hills revival, and the other is a complete series reboot. And apparently there was a pitch a while ago, something along the lines of a reboot that has a Telltale style. Allegedly, Sony has pitched the game to Kojima as a title more akin to a Telltale / supermassive narrative-driven title. Oh my god.
No.
God. Nah, I don't think that's.
Which would offer him full creative freedom. One source does emphasize. However,
okay, hang on.
Let me at least finish it.
Yep.
One source does emphasize, however, that Silent Hills is not a yet done deal, and that for now the only game in active development is the reboot from SIE Japan. While Sony is pushing for the series comeback, our sources do not say that they are out to own the Silent Hill IP. Sony and Konami are working together in these titles. Oh boy. So what if it's like Until Dawn?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think that's going to happen for one big reason. Number one, there is no way they're going to pitch that game to Kojima and have him head it, and then also try to get him to head Silent Hill. So that I don't. Somebody's got their wires. And normally that alone would have made me kind of discard this. But the fact that there are people who are on Team Silent, including the original Silent Hills creature design, tweeting about this, and the fact that there are some people at Kojima Productions that are also tweeting stuff like that. I, normally I wouldn't put any stock in this because it would sound too good to be true, but this has some credence to it. But yeah, as for it being a telltale, supermassive, narrative-driven title thing, I don't think that would be a thing, and I don't think Kojima would be ahead. Now, one thing that is interesting is somebody also brought up that apparently they were going to make use of the VR headset for the PS5.
Oh, that'd be wild.
Oh god, I don't even want to think about Silent Hill.
I played part of Resident Evil 7 in VR. I took that shit off. Hell no.
Bruh.
Bro, did you ever play the kitchen demo?
I did not.
Oh, I actually have that. I got a bunch of PSVR demos,
The
basically
kitchen,
for
bro.
free.
Nice.
And bro, like, oh my god, it's like you can get them actually for free on PS. You can download them. But they call them demo discs still too, even though they're digital. But anyway. But yeah, like the genuine terror that builds up during that, because at first you're like freaking out because it's like, what the heck's going on? I'm tied to a chair. It's dark. There's blood everywhere. There's rotting stuff everywhere. Then your friend shows up and and he's like, I'll cut you out and everything. And he gets something to try to cut you out, and he's like, what's that? What's that? And it's like, and you're like, what is that? And there's this noise, and he goes to check it out, and then you hear like shuffling and struggling, and then a scream, and then it goes quiet, and then you actually watch his head roll into the room, and then you see this figure like down on the floor, slowly crawling, just slowly creeping up on you, and you're sitting there struggling. There's nothing you can do to get out, and you just have to sit there and watch this thing crawl toward you. And the only reprieve he gets looking away, but at the same time, it's like, do you really want to look away? And then you look back, and it's closer. And it turned out to be, I think, Mia from Resident Evil 7, the way she looks.
Yeah, that's what the model was.
Yeah, but it's like, oh my god, that's horrifying.
Yeah, the presentation was crazy.
It was great. It was like, it wasn't a jump scare either. It was like a genuine build. It like they got horror again. That was great.
Oof,
bro, that's
nice.
why I'm like waiting for. That's why I want somebody to like fully.
Yeah, I'm about to be right back, y'all. Hold on.
Capitalize VR.
But yeah, VR can like really revolutionize certain genres, platformers, horror.
Like I want moments like that to where if somebody's behind you, you might have to physically turn around. And you probably don't.
Bro, can you imagine what the PS5 could do with VR games, especially if they with the audio stuff Cerny was talking about?
Factor that in with that haptic control, with that sense of feel.
Oh god. Don't even want to think about it. Like, can you imagine trying to pull on something that's like stuck together with like blood or something, or just like nasty? Like when you open that fridge in Resident Evil 7 and there was all that gunk just stringing off it. Like if they actually made it so that the button had resistance and it actually felt like you were pulling against that. That would be freaky.
VR is here, fine.
Anyway, Kojima might be washed. Death Stranding was snooze. Stop giving him creative control over everything, and that's the last thing.
Jeez. But yeah, like I don't know. I just don't see them trying to give Kojima 2 games at once. So if they're really trying to make Silent Hills a thing again, they're not going to be trying to give him whatever SIE Japan's.
At this point, like, as long as they just getting it away from Konami, I really don't care. When it's
that'd
them,
be great.
It's like typically the worst choice.
I mean, what? You're not looking forward to Silent Hills Survive?
Oh God.
Yeah, having to fight off waves of the nurses and the occasional pyramid head that spawns.
Case in point, fight off.
Yep, fight off.
Ridiculous. So I don't know, man. If this is legit and they actually do something with Silent Hill that's not a pachinko machine, then let's go.
Hey, maybe they gave them like the pachinko rights to God of War in exchange. You can make a The Last of Us slot machine if you let us make this game.
These clowns really was using.
Also, I refuse to believe that Kojima's involved with anything with Silent Hills, considering what happened with him and Konami.
Well, the idea here would be that supposedly, according to some of these people, Sony has either bought the IP outright, which I doubt, but others suggest that they might have actually licensed the IP or are essentially funding the games, so have creative control of them.
That's it. I can probably see them funding the game because that's the only thing I can imagine.
So
I don't think
if that's the case, then Konami would have like minimum and say so.
That I can believe because
the less they have involvement, the better. Like Konami's like the one name where it's like I can't even look at their name.
That's why while we're still on this topic of Silent Hills, this is why like honestly like I enjoyed Silent Hills like from a technical like creative standpoint, but actually playing it wasn't that fun for me. And I've played the original Team Silent Hill games, and those games were really, really good. And I didn't like 4 as much as I like 1, 2, and 3, but it's still, pretty alright. But like my thing is like as far as it goes like with Silent Hill, I don't know how it would have turned out only because think about it. Remember, Konami is allegedly the reason why, in Metal Gear Solid 5 came out as incomplete as it did, right? So let's say we were in this alternate timeline where we got Silent Hill. Wouldn't Konami have just gotten involved again and screwed up that game too?
Potentially, but honestly, even if the opposite was true and they didn't get involved at all, I mean, we kind of saw what happened when Kojima has no one there to tell him,
That's what I was about to bring up too. Like, because let's be real, Death Stranding, like, bro, I remember I asked somebody, I was like, what Kojima game would you play? If you had to play Death Stranding, like, which Kojima game would you put Death Stranding over, Because, like, most people say they wouldn't put it over MGS1 or 2 or 3 or 4. The only thing might be comparable to is 5, but at least MGS5 is fun to play. Like, you wouldn't put it over, like the only thing I can imagine, some people might say something like Snatcher or something, but I'm like, or Police Officer, like, you can play those.
You gotta go all the way to the bottom.
Exactly, right? You gotta go all the way to the bottom, bro.
Sir,
like,
Death Stranding is a transformative experience.
So I'm like, that's my thing. It's like, what Kojima game is Death Stranding better than? Because I'm gonna be real, I don't think it's better than any of the Metal Gear Solid games. No,
honestly,
I haven't heard anyone ever say that. I've never heard anyone say that.
I'm gonna say it. Death Stranding is easily the worst thing Hideo Kojima has.
I mean, it tries to turn into Diet Metal Gear.
Ew.
After a certain part, but still.
Like, you have to go, like Rob said, you have to name like the bottom of the barrel like Kojima games in order to like think of and even then, at least those games are short.
Well, yeah, but and even then though, I mean, like that back then, the limitations they had to work with, and the what he even did with those, with the hardware that he had to work with was actually really impressive.
Exactly.
Can we just address the fact that Sony fumbled the bag? They bet wrong, and Death Stranding was actually a commercial flop.
Well, I don't necessarily think that they like bet anything per se. I mean, like they helped the guy, They helped him get his studio started. They let him use their engine and everything. But honestly, I think the biggest problem is nobody really wanted to step on his toes after what happened, especially since technically he was a third party.
Yeah.
But nobody really wanted to step on it. I think a lot of it too is kind of pity after what Konami did.
Honestly,
Pat on your
yeah.
back, gang,
And I
Pat
get
on
that
your back,
Konami
gang.
pity, and I'm pretty sure they didn't want to be like. I'm pretty sure the fans would have been like, "You can't restrict Kojima, man. He's a genius, bro."
Yeah.
Like, all right, dog. All right, bro.
After that, man, he definitely went off the rails.
Yeah.
That man really went off the rails and had his big ass budget with his best friend. I can't. Honestly, that's a pretty power move. I ain't gonna even lie. That man made the game he wanted to make.
Apparently, he wanted to make a really bad game.
I actually do want to play it at this point. When that shit drops to like under $20, I'm gonna buy it and play it.
No, I ain't buying it. I'll rent it. I ain't need it.
Hey,
Like, I might use up a slot on GameFly for it at some point, maybe.
Oh God, Ritas is Kojima is like that dude who just makes friends with everybody.
Yo, what is do we actually know the sales numbers for Death Stranding?
No, they stopped reporting it.
Yeah, which is never a good sign. So Sony reports sales numbers for a good while, so if they start reporting sales numbers, there's probably.
There was a great video I just watched. I'll have to send it to y'all about the Death Stranding sales figures.
Can you give us a TLDR?
After its initial chart, like when it charted and made sales, it dropped like a rock and it fell out of the charts.
It Dragon Ball Evolution.
Nice.
Yeah, let me.
Honestly, when it charted, it didn't even chart as high as people expected it to.
Yeah, I got the video for you right now. I'll link it in the Facebook chat. It's from What Culture,
Death
which normally I wouldn't link, but their video is very good about this.
Oh, well, as long as they sourced their stuff, that's all I care about.
Yeah, they did. They got everything.
What Culture? Like some of the people who are there, I like. Some of the people who are there, I really. And even then, the people who I like who are there, I think they're not even there anymore.
That's all I want.
A game where everybody else's speculation of Death Stranding and how it. All the fan theories, that's the way. And that's really bugged because the story itself is the story is better than the game. Torture because to find out more you have to do all it.
That's still your game though, Rob.
Oh wow! So the Wikipedia article or the sales for Death Stranding very conveniently mentions what it debuted at and then says nothing after.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
But, hey, you want some good news though?
What?
Judgment until Death Stranding came out actually held the record for the most successful debut for a new IP in Japan.
Really? How many units?
Yeah, it did. It did really good there. I'm not 100% sure. I know that Death Stranding did overtake it when they sold 185,909 copies, so almost 186,000.
Wow.
I will try to see if I can find how many Judgment. But
I think Judgment was like 170 something. I can't remember though.
Oh, yeah. Strong opening in its first week in Japan with sales of 146,246 copies.
Oh.
That's really good for a new IP, yeah.
Well,
yes, Death Stranding should have just been a movie.
It really should have. Like, honestly, if you...
Probably would have cost less.
The ending literally is a movie. That's get for unlocking the thing. One of the most boring-ass movies you will ever watch in your life.
Dude, I'm going to say this. I don't want to get too much into it. This is a quick spoiler for anyone that hadn't played.
No, my God. Oh, yeah, spoilers. You got to let people know.
Bro, the game is 4 months old.
Bro. I had people get on me for spoiling. Oh shit, what was fucking Uncharted 4 like 9 months after?
Bruh, so I'm just getting it out the way. All I'm gonna say is that the most things people speculated about in all the trailers was those moments where Reedus' character was like he was slipping into like World War II or the Vietnam. and people was wondering, it's like okay, is this like some cross plane, cross dimensional type? It's actually more like Inception, bro. Where uh, you remember in Inception when you would invade somebody's dream, and then like the dream had like the security system, which would look like mercs that would shoot at you.
Yeah.
Y'all remember what I'm talking about? Yeah. So they was establishing these things called the island, and like every person has like a an internal plane called the island, and like your
Oh
like
no, I watched
internal
that series.
defenses were the soldiers. So like Mads Mikkelsen's character, when they invaded his quote unquote island, his mental plane, his defenses was the whole soldier thing. And I was like, out of all the speculations I had, that was not on my list, bro.
I can't believe this entire game is just an elaborate Lost fanfic.
Jesus Christ.
And that's just one of the aspects. There's so many others that I really trying to get into. Me personally, that was something that really bummed me out when I realized I'm like, this story is actually way more low tier than I was expecting it to be. I thought it was gonna be this crazy supernatural. You know, human beings are low on the food chain because these big creatures are above them and all that. It's not that at all.
The more I hear about this game too, and all the different concepts he's trying to throw in here, the more it sounds like he really tried to do like too much.
Yeah, definitely.
Like just threw too much into a blender and tried to make. If he had taken like half those concepts out and just focused on fleshing out the rest of them, he could have had something there.
Absolutely.
But again, nobody there to tell him rethink this.
He's like George Lucas.
And can nobody convince me otherwise? I still believe Death Stranding was the most expensive engine test ever made.
It's like this. Metal Gear Kojima was a trilogy. Lucas. Death Stranding Kojima is prequel George Lucas. And post Kojima Metal Gear is the new trilogy.
All right, hold on. Wait, I need to tweet this. What? Let me get that quote out. Okay, here we go. What did you say? You said
I said it's simple. Metal Gear Kojima is original trilogy George Lucas. Death Stranding Kojima is prequel George Lucas.
Oh God.
Although at least prequel George Lucas gave us better memes.
Right. Oh God.
Because it's wild.
Jesus Christ, Danny.
It started to make you like kind of feel bummed because it's like everybody was kind of expecting like, all right, Kojima on his own, you about to go ham, and then it's just he went ham in the wrong way.
Definitely. Oh my God.
He's not gonna learn a thing from this. I mean, he's just gonna have the people that just gonna surround him with praise. He's just gonna focus on them, and if you didn't like it, you just mad it wasn't a shoot.
Oh yeah, I mean he literally. The reason it didn't get as good of a critical reception in America is because it wasn't a shooter.
But you know what though, and he says that, but yet the first weapon you get to defend yourself from these BTs or grenades made from Reedus's bodily waste or some crap like that. And I'm like, so grenades are your first weapon, and it took me well over 17 hours till I even got a gun. But I'm not saying that I need one. I'm just saying I ran into a lot of action where I needed one, and then get one of that far in. And I was like, so what's even the point?
Oh my God.
I don't know. There was a lot of things that was just point. And but I'm not gonna. I will say things opened up more when you started getting more. But my thing, it took too long. It took too long. when you started getting to the point where you had like the electric grapple hook and stuff like that, okay, you started moving faster, sure. But how long did you have to basically go on foot for big parts of this map?
Guys, I just figured it out.
Getting to those
What
points.
did you figure out?
I just figured it out. You said that Death Stranding basically turns into like Metal Gear, like in the third act, right?
Yeah.
That's the missing chapter from Metal Gear Solid 5.
Stop.
Don't you even.
That's the Phantom Pain.
No.
I figured it out.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my
No,
God,
no,
he
no,
is-
no, 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 no.
Oh.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy. Worship this man.
No.
Phantom Pain.
Get out of here, Danny. I could have gone my whole life with that. No.
You know, I could real quick throw up a video about that and probably get about 3,000 subs overnight.
Please don't do that.
Death Stranding is
I
the
hate
Phantom
you.
Pain.
I hate you.
Oh my god.
I don't say this often, Danny. I don't say this often, but I don't say this often, but fuck you, nigga. Fuck you, for real, man.
You say that a lot more often than you.
I don't. I am a good Christian boy.
Like, I can imagine some freaking dude with a Kojima beanie in his room going, "Oh my god, bro, Kojima's mine. You guys can't comprehend the greatness."
For those of you whose third eye I just opened, you're welcome.
Bro, it like literally is though. You
This
think
man's the
about it,
real
people
Tion
say
shit, son.
people say like the Phantom Pain, like you lose a leg, but you swear you can still feel it. Death Stranding feels like a Metal Gear game, but it's not, bro.
See? You see? I got
literally-
something
oh
here.
my god, it
I'm
literally
onto
is
something
the
here.
Phantom
Oh, this is
Pain.
literally me right now. I said it to the chat. Hold on. Oh my god.
I mean, there's like me and Jamil talked about. There's certain cinematic cues that scream Metal Gear.
Mm-hmm.
Like that dude Higgs with the hood on. That moment where he floats in the background and takes off when the camera pans. That's the sorrow from like Metal Gear Solid 3.
No, we're not gonna continue talking about this. No.
Bro, I remember people making videos thinking Mads Mikkelsen was the sorrow. I'm like, he can't be in this game. He can't. It's like Death Stranding is really Metal Gear Solid 0. I'll never forget that video, bro.
Oh,
Mhm.
Well, again, what was Metal Gear Solid 5? It was the prequel.
Just no. My night is ruined.
I can't stop the comparisons now. The over the shoulder angle.
You have
all
been
that crap.
enlightened.
So,
Rita's tired. He has the mini ponytail Venom Snakehead and Phantom Pain, bro. Almost the same sprinting animation.
speaking of animations, I find it interesting that Chris is hyped for the 7 remake.
I'm not hyped for it. I'm just a little less
Excited.
I'm just a little less cautious. I'm not like hyped through the roof.
Excited. A little excited.
I got it on good authority that Chris's interest in the 7 remake has been plummeting since he played.
Since
I have no
wait.
authority.
Since what? Since plummeting since what?
Nah, I was just using that quote from that Go Talk.
Oh God, let's bring that up.
Well,
Let's
he
bring
was
that
like-
up right quick. Go ahead, Rob.
Nah,
I'm just saying, man. I remember Chris. Yo, this joint action based. I want to play this game, bro. Chris plays the
Wait,
demo.
hold on.
This game fun,
Wait,
bro.
no. Let me quantify that. Remember, that was about the time when Final Fantasy 15 was looking kind of spooky, bro. And you gotta admit, Square Enix was not in the best of places to inspire confidence in 2015.
I mean, that's why. But I also told you these are 2 different teams, bro.
But
And you were
remember,
like, nah,
it's still Square Enix, bro. It's still Square Enix.
But it's oh my god,
Bro, it's still Square Enix, bro.
It is
When was
still
the last
Square-
time a mainline Final Fantasy game was good? And I'm talking good, no strings attached, none of this revisionist history bullshit we're happening right now. The last time.
12. I don't care what no one says. 12.
And 12 was when? 2005? 6?
5 for Japan, I think 6 for us.
How long ago was that?
I'm just saying.
And what was the last time people got excited about Final Fantasy? And it even took something like Final Fantasy 14, which had to be rebooted, to get people to say, okay, this is great.
Well, around 2014, actually.
Sadly,
Exactly.
a lot of people actually were very excited for 15.
I was. We were all excited for that, bro.
I wasn't.
Yeah, no, you were excited for this when they
No,
first.
I was
No,
not.
no. When they re-revealed it, we were all excited at that at E3 2013. We were all excited for that shit.
I don't remember Danny being.
Yo,
excited.
I didn't like the character
You
design.
gotta find that.
I haven't.
You have to
Listen,
find that.
listen.
I said I'm kind of happy that Final Fantasy's finally moving forward, but I don't like them characters.
No, listen. Once it comes back, because Time Hop will be upon us in June. It will go back on the Facebook post. We're gonna find it, bro. Because I have the post. I have him. Yo, that E3 2013 was pretty damn hype. I'm not even gonna lie.
No, I remember that. But as far as Danny,
Danny, no. The hype dissipated the year later. But I said in the beginning we were all hype.
No, I know, and that's what I was saying. For as long as I have known Danny, he has never been hyped for 15. That's actually one thing me and Danny went back and forth about. But Danny was consistent. That's one thing I never know.
It happened in the beginning. No, listen, it happened in the beginning, and then a year later, when we started to hear more about it, we were just like, "Oh, this is looking kind of spooky," and that's when it started happening. I was talking about it at the beginning. I wasn't saying he was hype up until release.
Also, oh fuck, what the hell? Okay, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, no. I guess I gotta address two things in the chat. So, everyone hyping up the 7 remake because the KH2 battle director, he's not on the game actually at all in any sort of capacity. The reason you like the Final Fantasy 15, the reason you like the 7 remakes gameplay, you can thank Nomura for that, because Nomura was the one that decided for that. What's his name? Kitase wanted it to be a full action game. Nomura is the reason it has strategic elements. So, yeah, stop. I'm sorry, but I deal with that too much. Everyone keeps hyping up the 7 remake because the KH2. The KH2 team isn't even working on the 7 remake. The 7 remake is being made by a lot of the OGs who made 7. Half the development team is split between half the people who worked on the original 7, and the other half is split on by people who grew up that played.
Literally, that's the best part. It's like how they have the younger development of teams working on stuff. That's the best part.
I just want 9 back.
You can do
You'll have
a whole
9
50 combo string in that 7 remake. If your level ain't high enough, you ain't do.
Yo, I just want to know who's responsible for them janky ass camera angles.
That was one of the few things in that demo that really bugged me.
So Jamil, this your company. You gonna damage control this too, bro? You gonna damage control that too?
Wait. I'm sorry, I didn't hear. What'd you say?
What's up with them janky ass camera angles?
Oh, you distracted. Oh, you went into the development team and distracted them, Chris. That's what's wrong with them.
Okay. Listen. First off, you ain't gonna talk about going anywhere and distracting people when you was in the boardrooms and you sacrificed franchises just to get Shin Megami Tensei 5 on PC. I don't even want to hear it.
No. See, Chris went to Nomura and asked him to draw him a picture of Superman, and he was struggling to find where to put the zippers. So,
where do you put the? You know what, Superman.
I don't even
want to know. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
The S is the zipper, bro.
Also, fun fact.
That's for it. It's symbol of hope.
Also, fun fact. Nomura is the reason Aerith got killed off in the original game.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I thought Sakaguchi did that, but no, it was Nomura, because Kitase wanted to kill off the entire cast except for 3 people that the player would pick.
But nah, fam, bring it back.
But yeah, Nomura was like, no, bro. He was like, kill off Eric, and we got an iconic moment.
Hey, yo, let me hear it real
I have thoughts about that moment.
Okay, Danny, you may not like the moment. That's fine, but it's an iconic moment. It doesn't really matter.
I never got the love for the character. That's
okay,
that's all
and that's fine. I personally, bro, I don't really get a lot of the hype around Halo, but when I hear finish the fight, Halo.
Okay. Y'all, mainly speaking out broadly. Stop being a dick and spoiling that moment. Why you gonna have them not go through the heartbreak most of us went through when we first played this? Why spoil? Let people get all gassed up and then watch the mini reaction videos from people that didn't play the original 7 when they get to that moment. Suddenly just it hurts them all over
the
again.
bandwagon streamers?
Yeah, they're gonna act like it hurt them all over again. It hurt you again for the first time. Though this is the first time you played.
Yeah. Oh, bro. You remember? Who was? I can't remember. That one streamer who kept like. Oh, I forget who it was, but she was like frauding so bad. With Devil May Cry 5.
Oh,
like she kept trying to talk like she knew stuff, except she kept like mispronouncing.
Oh God, Rob,
the cat ears and the pink hair, bro.
Rob and I know we know a lot about people because we remember. We had to dedicate a whole segment to our first video on people saying, oh my God. I've never seen such fraudulent. Let me just start off by saying I'm a huge fan of Devil May Cry. I played all of the games multiple times.
No, you haven't.
I hate the reboot. I hated the reboot like everybody. That's not my Dante.
No, he's an edgelord. He sucks.
He sucks. And then you see Nero rev it up. Oh shit, Dante back in the fold. He got a nice new haircut.
Yeah, but like there was this one chick we were watching, or I was watching reaction video, and I shared it with Rob, and he's like, "Yeah, I saw that one," and it's like, yeah, she kept pronouncing Kyrie as Kyrie.
Yeah,
and of course she had insisted that she had played through, Devil May Cry 3 and 4 and everything.
She clearly read the Wikipedia.
Yeah, she read the wiki. That's how she knew what she knew. And it's like I got nothing against people reading the wiki so they're not lost. I've got nothing against that. It's when they start talking I played this back in the day, and it's like you didn't. There's no shame in that. Say this is your first game.
It's fine.
Let me tell you what put me through the roof about that particular streamer. She called herself going on a tangent about the finale. Y'all know Devil May Cry started having you fight through the credits because they give you a chance to tally up the number. Extra video. So 5 is no different. And she went on the whole tirade as she was playing. I hate when games do this. This is not Devil May Cry. I literally stood out of my chair. I stood up out of my chair.
She said what? She said what?
I stood up. I levitated out of my chair.
I don't get that either. I don't know how anyone that, even if that was the case. That's one of the best parts of the dang game right there.
Yo, she literally said, I hate when games do this. Like this is disrespectful. This is not Devil May Cry.
I would nah.
Bro.
Did you send that to Camilla?
I would send it to me. He'd be like, fuck this bitch.
Yeah, he'd block her on principle.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He'd Google it and block her.
He'd be doing all kinds of reverse image search, whatever, just to find her, just so we can block her.
Reverse image search and screenshot, bro. Facial reconstruction, bro. But yeah, oh man, there's quite a few. There's a whole YouTube channel dedicated to showing compilation of people reacting to moments of Devil May Cry 5, and some of them were fraud.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she was the worst. She was the worst because that literally pushed me. And you know what's gonna happen again with when the 7 remake come out. Everybody playing it again. but for the first time.
I'm looking forward to seeing it with the Resident Evil 3 remake because I know what's gonna happen there.
Yeah.
And all these whiny baby. I mean, it's already happened. All these people who are sitting there, talking about, that why is this so hard, yada yada. Oh, I loved this back in the day, but they made Nemesis way too hard. Or, oh, my personal favorite though are the ones who are trying to act all hardcore, who clearly never played. Like, why did they add an easy? Why did they put this dodge in the game? It makes it way too easy.
Yeah, the
they
dodge
didn't use to do
and all that.
Yeah,
I
it's like,
don't know. Man, they're trying to slip the action back again. They're trying to make it Resident Evil 6. Slip the action back in.
It's amazing because it pisses you off, but it's hilarious at the same time.
Hey, another way you could point out fraudulent people that follow Resident Evil bandwagon, like they say, man, ever since 5, man, 5 is actually good though.
Well, it is. It's a fun arcade game.
It was okay enough.
I mean, I'm not going to argue that it's a survival horror game. Fun game, not a bad game. But
6 is the real problem, but somehow the bandwagon says 5 and.
I've seen people who say that 6 wasn't a problem and it's just 5.
Yeah, I've seen people. But did Chris find that article?
Which article? I'm sorry, I was out of the room.
Chris was helping Kamiya find that chick so he could.
Yeah. We were. I was about to assemble. Some people. But which article? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I thought you said because you said you was gonna pull up that Kotaku article.
Oh yeah, got you right now, brother. Got you right now. Kotaku FF7.
The funniest thing about that was he was talking like he was expecting people to agree with him. You could tell how he phrased.
Here we go.
He thought everybody.
Here we go. Let me see. How do we just link this under file to Final Fantasy VII Remake? See, I love websites that do shit like that.
Oh, hey, here, I found it for you already.
Oh, okay. Where is it?
I am putting it in the chat right.
Because I know which chat though, Messenger or the
Messenger.
Okay, because I don't think it's the Jason Schreier piece.
No, it wasn't even an article. Actually, tweet.
Oh, it was a tweet. Okay, that's why I can't find it.
I just remember article.
I think he's actually one of the editors there. What's his position again?
Yeah.
Yep, features editor the features editor at Kotaku.
Okay.
Guys.
Huh?
You do know that the co-director for the 7 remake is the guy that was the director of the 13 trilogy, right?
Yeah. Don't remind me.
Toriyama.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't it Toriyama?
Yeah.
Don't they have like 3? Yeah. Don't they have 3 directors on this game?
No, they have 2.
Well, I mean, when you look at 13, it was pretty clear he wanted to work with Cloud. That's why they had female Cloud. But...
Hey, don't you disrespect Cloud like that. I love Danny. All right, so here's the comment. Wow, did that Final Fantasy VII Remake demo actually send my interest plummeting? I have basically zero idea how to play that first boss fight. A million interlocking systems all thrown at you at once. Here's Danny under it. To be clear, you supposedly do this for a living, yes?
The demo has a damn easy mode.
No, not even that.
An easy mode.
Not even that, bro. The game went the extra mile and had the characters speak out what you're supposed to do.
That's new, but like it has an easy mode on top of it. Right. Like there is no excuse for him not to be able to get through that demo.
There's actually several videos of people not using the damn lightning in that boss fight.
They keep saying
one of the biggest channels that upload gameplays, that MK Ice and Fire dude.
Yo, here's another.
He went through that whole boss fight without using the magic. And everybody in the comment like, bro.
The only thing that I will agree with this dude on though.
It was a while. Yeah. He said in the comment that he had to go back and redo it.
The only thing I will agree with him on is the fact that I do think it's kind of annoying that you have to fill up that action bar to do magic and heal.
Well, I think it's good so that way you don't spam it.
Well, kind of. I mean, magic is fine. The magic is fine. It's the healing, like even using healing items. that is somewhat annoying. Like it's not a huge deal, but he makes it seem like it's a bigger deal.
Yeah,
than it
he
is,
was like,
but
make sure to attack, but also heal, but also you can't heal, but also you can't use magic, but you can't use magic, so make sure to stagger the enemy, but he also has a barrier, but also hide behind this debris. But
that happens in like separate sequences, and they literally tell you what you need to do as it happens. So there's no excuse for that. But I do think it's kind of annoying that like once a battle starts, you can't use even a potion unless you have that gauge filled up.
I honestly don't mind it. Actually, ironically,
same. I don't either.
Uh,
Because it builds up fast enough anyway to where it's not that big of an issue for me. If it was slow, then it would be an issue.
I get what you're saying too, Danny. Like it shouldn't have to. You're arbitrarily imposing an action command. But I will say this.
Like I said, it's not a game kill for me. It's just
of course
slightly
not.
annoying.
I will say this though. I think I know the reason why they did this. Because if you compare it to other action games, like let's just say Kingdom Hearts, because we're talking about Square Enix, yeah, you can use it wherever. But this is a remake of Final Fantasy VII, and I think they literally took that remake to a crazy degree where it's like, all right, it's still going to be like a RPG in a sense. So every action requires an action. So like it is a turn, you can only use
I
a
get what
heal,
they're going for. It's just still annoying.
Yeah, like Kingdom Hearts leans on the more action side of the RPG thing, and the 7 remake leans on the more RPG side of things.
Also, that got to me because I'm so used to Kingdom Hearts gameplay that I was instinctively pressing X when I was
oh my god, yeah, me too, bro. Oh my god, me too.
Speaking of, so I actually did find the battle director for the 7 remake. His name is Teruki Endo, and all he pretty much has worked on is he worked on Capcom games like RE5, the Monster Hunter games, and he did Monster Hunter World as a lead game designer.
Oh shit, yo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the battle director for KH2, I don't know where he is, I don't know what he's doing, but he's not working on it. He's not doing the 7 remake.
Yo, that nigga chilling. That dude's straight.
Man, you really just had to go prove that point, didn't you?
No, because I'm tired of. I've been dealing with that for almost a year.
I still do see that people saying it's just like I remember there was a post on Facebook. One of our mutuals said, "Oh my god, the gameplay's just like Kingdom Hearts," and everyone was like, "Nah, fam, nah, fam."
I said, "Hey, which one of y'all put that meme of dude with the butterflies? They saw like RPG with real time combat. Like, is this Kingdom Hearts?
Oh, is this Kingdom Hearts? I think I posted that shit. It's true. Why do I always think that?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think as of right now, it's a perfect harmony between trying to keep the strategy aspect, but you still could do some combo. But it all depends on what people are.
I think that's pretty cool. He worked on Monster Hunter World, considering that's Capcom's highest-selling game in their company history.
I think so what's the next release in order? In order of release, what's the next big one? Is it?
What's the next what?
You're really low. Right? The next big game.
Yeah, the next big release.
Like,
is it Resident Evil?
So no. The next big release is Doom and Animal Crossing on the 20th. And Neo 2. Right. We got Neo 2. And then when does Resident Evil come out?
Persona 5 Royal comes out, I think.
It comes out Tuesday. Comes out
and then the Resident Evil 3 remake comes out that Friday.
Oh god.
2 games in 1 week.
Bro, that hurts.
Next Friday we have Doom and Animal Crossing. Then a week and a half later, Persona Resident Evil in the same week, and then Final Fantasy VII Remake is the week after. What the fuck?
Wow.
So I hope you guys aren't too fond of your wall.
Okay. All right. I
Stuff
don't know.
like this is why I have Gamefly.
See, I haven't even no. Like Persona obviously, but everything else no. So far I only have Persona and I have Final Fantasy pre-ordered.
Well, I have Persona 5 Royal, the special edition pre-ordered.
Nice.
And finally paid off. I have the Resident Evil 3 regular version of that, sadly, because I couldn't do the special edition.
Low-key, I think I'm
through GameStop.
Low-key, I think I'm gonna wait on that Resident Evil remake. I think it's gonna drop down in price.
Yeah, you can ask Rob.
Because it's too scary, Chris? It's okay.
Oh, it is.
Just
Honestly, it is because it's too scary.
Ask Rob how tortured I was that I couldn't do the special edition of the RE3 remake.
Let me see you play Outlast on the hardest difficulty, Jamil.
Okay.
Go ahead. I want to see it right now. Stream it. Let's go.
No.
Aha. You gonna play it on your alternate account?
No, because Outlast is a bad game. What are you talking about?
Oh God, here we go. Anyway, that'd be a good time for a game inspector video if you did one.
Jesus.
Oh, okay.
This man changed his whole name from comics inspector to game inspector. Ain't inspect no games.
If I make another video, let's just say you'll know, but you'll
know. It'll be when Shin Megami Tensei 5 drops. Whenever. This man, did he walk out the room?
No.
It sounded like you were going far away. I was just like, where the fuck you taking this?
Literally. I'm just saying, bro. Like, listen.
Of course I'll know. I have notifications.
I know. I'm just saying.
He's gonna expose you.
You will see, and it will shake the world asunder. Not to be dramatic, but it probably will.
Okay, all right. When you stop, Danny, hold on. When you stop spending time with Peter Molyneux, get back to us.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I already know the topic in general might cause people to get some people angry. So.
Really?
About
Chris, what?
You know that he's gonna make.
You're cutting out.
He's gonna. I said, he's gonna make a video about you.
About what?
Yeah, you.
About what?
You got game right in your name, man.
No, the video I would make, the video I've actually kind of been workshopping, going back and forth about is let's just say it involves how some relationships are portrayed within the game, video game industry, particularly with women, but I don't know if I will put that
Oh shit. Okay, alright.
Somebody's pandering to Kotaku, eh?
Yeah, totally, bro. Totally.
Relationships.
Maybe you should go hang out with the guys at Polygon, eh?
Wait, I'm confused now. He mentioned Kotaku. I was thinking one thing, and then you said that. I'm thinking something else entirely.
Basically he's gonna take a look at how.
Does Jason Schreier have a chance?
No.
And even if he did, he'd probably block you.
Relationships in the game. What do you mean industry? Do you mean the industry working, or do you mean in games in general?
No, within the games themselves.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I'm like, do you have some insider information on people? What the fuck?
Bro, no. Even if I did, I would not do that.
I'm about to say, he's about to,
Oh, Jimmy, what you got against hot, sexy wish fulfillment, yo?
Oh God!
Why do you hate men? Why do you hate men? Why do you literally hate men and want them to die?
He lives in California. That's why. Oh damn! I almost forgot DBZ Kakarot.
Bro, did I ever tell you?
Yo, that game came out this year. Niggas dropped it.
No, did I ever tell you though that one of the reasons that people actually said that people being against any kind of hypersexualization of women were basically against any kind of storytelling because it's inherently fantasy, and they're like, "What do you think fantasy means?" And I'm like,
Lord.
What the heck do you think it means?
I have to question. I've got a question.
Yeah, I'm not even joking. That was their. Basically, they said that because video games are fantasies, that all the women in there should be made to cater to their fantasy.
I'm good, fam.
It's like,
bruh, nah.
Wow.
Nah. Negative. But yeah, so damn, we touched on a couple topics now. We actually got through everything. Holy shit.
Actually we didn't.
What else is left? I mean,
No, we did.
We did. We touched on everything.
Rob, where's Rob's list?
We got E3. We did Horizon, Silent Hills. Talked a bit about Final Fantasy VII. I mean, then it was just pretty much just freestyling. That was about the gist of it.
Oh, okay.
Which is so weird.
Well,
This is probably the most on-time podcast we've ever had. What the hell?
Probably.
The fuck?
I mean, if you want to just dedicate a little bit of time to the whole remakes thing, that's the one thing we did.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Remake.
So I did
Remake
I did a video on it. So I'm good. Rob,
Bruh.
you go ahead. You go ahead. You talk about that, Rob.
I'll just keep my point, short and sweet about it. I think remakes for video games work way more than for movies, because you could have a video game that was released so long ago but be good in concept, but technology wasn't there. Yeah, and so I could definitely see. I mean, I don't think it's one of those things to start a hate brigade against video game remakes like you do when they do movies. I mean, I'm all for it depending on what it is. I mean, like, if the game was good enough and aged well enough on its own, leave it alone. But if it can afford to be remade, then definitely. Like, even though Metal Gear Solid is pretty much dead, everybody talking about this is how you can tell, like, who's fans in the long run and who is it. The people that talking about Metal Gear Solid 1 needs to be remade again. When there's 2 whole games, there's a chunk in the whole timeline that's still missing. That needs to be remade, the NES games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, those games need to be remade, because how is it you have a trilogy with Solid Snake, well, more than a trilogy with Solid Snake, and then a trilogy with Big Boss, and yet the game where they actually fought each other, you got to go all the way back to those platforms to play.
Not to mention the fact that people seem to be forgetting Big Boss was a villain.
I'm gonna be, yeah. Like, the fact that people never played the NES Metal Gear games is why they think Big Boss isn't a villain, like you said. But I'm be real. I think aside from good games that like everyone universally loves, I think bad games deserve remakes. Maybe even a bit
those
more.
two.
I'm gonna be completely real with you, and I know some people might like legit freak, might say I'm crazy for this. I think Sonic 06 deserves a remake.
I'd agree with that if I felt like Sonic Team had made any kind of significant progress since Sonic 06. But
I mean, that's the thing.
I really don't feel like they have.
I personally think that someone else could handle. Hopefully, in my ideal remake, someone else will handle it. But all I'm saying is, I think, like I said, I think bad games deserve remakes almost more than like universally good games, especially games that are like
more than recreating a good game already.
Yeah, like but don't get me wrong, like 7 remake, I'm hyped for something like that. But I'm gonna be real. I would legit take a remake of Resident Evil 6, but making it good, as opposed to like I know that sounds crazy, but like think about it. The only place to go is up. Like, yeah. Given the current Capcom team too, I would legit take a remake of Resident Evil if it were they made it like actually good.
What if they did a super with it, and then like these remakes are starting a new timeline, and after 3 they might just do their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that'd be interesting. But I don't think.
Damn, that'd be some real baller shit if they actually did that.
They're still talking about Resident Evil 8 though.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing, right there.
Yeah, but I think honestly, like I'm honestly all for almost any remake you care to name in video games. Like, video games are not like film where, you can have something that's like timeless and encapsulated. You don't need to touch it. It's a complete product of its time. Video games, it's a constantly evolving and improving medium.
Mm-hmm.
So like some of the stuff even that was a thing like back in like the Super Nintendo days or the PS1 days, you can bring that today and like expand on it and flesh it out more. And yes, you can even kick some of the limitations to the hardware, and especially like storyline wise. When it comes to like storyline and everything, storytelling in video games has improved so much from back then.
Definitely.
That even, and I'm not saying that every game back then had like a bad story. I'm just saying, imagine what you could do with that now. where there is more of an emphasis on story and there is more, or like some of those games that we consider like gems now that flopped back then, bring them to life. I am going to say though, I don't necessarily agree with someone in the chat there that says FF9. Most people wouldn't care. Most people didn't care at the time for Final Fantasy IX for a few reasons. One being that a lot of the people who had hopped on board after 7 and 8 were into it because it had this kind of darker, industrial, more moody, broody. It was a lot more like 90s and 2000s anime, like in terms of its like protagonists and everything. And FF9 was more of a return to the roots, which is something that like but it also had the problem of when it was announced, like Final Fantasy 10 and 11 were actually already announced too. So people were already looking ahead to the other games coming out near the end of the PS1's life cycle. Final Fantasy 10 was already coming out for the PS2, and people were really excited for what that was going to look like. So that's kind of the pigeonhole that 9 found itself. If you were to, especially in like even just bandwagon culture, right? Especially after FF7R, take Final Fantasy 9 and like remake it, re-release it, you would definitely have people caring just on that ground alone.
Yeah, I think 9 came out like in what 2000, and Final Fantasy 10 came out like what 2002, 2001, around there.
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
Jesus.
But interestingly though, Jamil, I actually agree with your stance on games, like bad games getting remade. But I'm actually that way when it comes to film. Yeah. Like if Hollywood really wants to remake all these old movies, do those movies that like you wanted to do, but you know you couldn't pull off the effects at the time, or do those movies that someone put out but like were really crappy and like just didn't work. You know, find a way to make them work and bring them forward.
A lot of like sci-fi horror movies from back in the day, like in the 50s.
They had some interesting concepts. It's just the execution would be so fix that. True. You know, you can do that.
True. Definitely.
So, question, here's something I was thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
How would y'all feel about remaking a game? Like, okay, you know, the game that's the beginning of a whole series. You don't know where it's gonna go, and as time goes on, you build more to its lore or whatever over the many releases of the game.
Wait,
how do you feel about the whole idea of at some point going back and redoing the first one to try to slide in the lore you ended up making?
Oh, case in point. Okay, continue.
So my point being is like people saying like Blue Point should redo like the first God of War or something like that,
and incorporate some of the elements from.
Yeah, because I mean a lot of things kind of changed a little bit with the lore as it went on,
especially when you got to part 3. You know.
Yeah. You mean like incorporating stuff from the prequels in there too?
Yeah,
like you could add like things like that, and you know, being able to redo. I mean, this all did kind of start with Kratos killing Ares, being able to kind of redo that, and then you got another side of people. Then you got another side of people saying they would like to do that for like Devil May Cry 1.
Well,
like the fight with Nilo Angelo had ended up being Virgil, so you actually get some closure on what happened after 3. And
I mean, we never know how Virgil survived that fight still to this day, so you know that would be nice.
A good question for another time.
Like I have some iffy opinions on games doing that, but it's mostly Blizzard's fault. The fact that they actually took Warcraft 3 and actually restructured it and restructured its lore to better fit with what they're doing in World of Warcraft now. That doesn't sit right with me.
I mean, well, the main question that people have been asking is how did Virgil survive? Because everyone's like, hey, everyone thought he was dead. We still legit do not know, even with 5 out, how he survived after DMC 1, especially after all this time.
Right.
Well, I mean, we kind of and DLC like, pack. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I was honestly that was my own issue with 5. It never explained that. I was like, okay, cool.
Yo, the fact that they ain't talking about no DLC for 5 yet is like really annoying, bro.
Yeah, weren't they supposed to have like a roadmap or something?
No, never.
No, I mean not like a public one. I meant internal.
Mm.
They said they had plans for DLC.
Yeah, I
And then,
remember.
like,
It's part of me thinking they're gonna do like some Game of the Year edition or something.
oh, I really hope no. That would be annoying.
No, Matt Walker or whatever his name is said that DMC5 was done. I remember him saying after Bloody Palace came out, he was like, "That's it."
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, I remember him saying that on
could've
Twitter.
swore at some point, though,
But
they
you
said
gotta
real-
believe winning that VGA probably got some conversations going on.
I don't know. We'll just gotta see. But
All I'm saying is that if they could come out with with fucking content for Storm 4 like 30 years later, they can do that shit for Devil May Cry. God.
Very true.
Hey, what if they remade Devil May Cry 1 for the events of DMC?
That'd be some baller shit, to be honest.
I would like to revisit like the initial fight with Moonless with like the Dante we kind of grown to be the Ruben Langness Dante, how he working, meeting Trish for the first time and all that stuff. Yeah, it's like,
I could see that.
so that's why I was like, I'm not fully against that idea of like some games that have this stretched out lore that the first game didn't really have, going back and trying to weave things in and stuff like that.
Right.
Alright, so what about this? A remake of Devil May Cry 1 or the infamous Sparta game everybody wants you.
Sparta.
Sparta.
Oh man, why'd you say infamous? Now I missed. No.
Rob, we've been talking about that Sparta game since like 2012,
True.
bro.
True. For a while.
Bro, we have a podcast of us talking about that shit in 2012, bro.
Bruh, like didn't I think I sent the message to Jamil. Camille said he would like to tackle that game.
Sparta,
Yeah.
Devil May Cry 0, Sparta versus Mundus.
Devil May Cry 0, right?
I know Camille would like to tackle that game. I know. I'm sure that's a novel concept. But like, bro, your recent output is I don't know about that one, Chief.
I think that's too much power to trust him with.
True. He needs like someone else to take the reins. Nah, just let Itsuno do it.
Like, I'm sorry, Itsuno. Devil May Cry is Itsuno's
It
baby.
is.
I know.
Yo,
It is.
why people keep thinking it's all Kamiya?
Kamiya only made the first one. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad he made the first one. But when you think of Devil May Cry as this crazy action game that like kind of pioneered a lot with the genre, that was DMC3, my boy, and that was
Exactly.
and that was
Exactly. The only thing I really give Camille was Devil May Cry 1 was the only one that had like a little horror in it. That's
Wasn't that though mostly just because it
started
spun
off
out
as a
the-
Resident Evil.
Yeah,
so
spun out of
then
Resident Evil
again,
4.
so I take it back because that probably just could have been in the cards regardless.
If there's
Yeah,
anyone I
that-
trust to do something with
actually-
Sparta, it's got to be Itsuno.
Yeah,
I
I think I would actually like to see it so we can stop having a narrator at the beginning of every game tell us the same story. But I'm like, I just let us see it. Well,
oh man, I really want an Infamous collection now.
I'm surprised
man.
that never happened.
We need a
Like,
we need a
if they
Resistance
remastered that-
collection.
Oh god, that too. Bring those forward.
Resistance, more like mid-distance, because that game was snooze. I'm just playing.
But
I'm about to say, Resistance 2 was pretty hot.
Honestly, I
Yeah.
love that trilogy. One is kind of archaic, just because it's clearly got some holdovers from like the PS2 days
Oh,
of shooters,
yeah,
right down to the
definitely.
Hellcat.
I remember y'all bought me that trilogy out
Oh,
of
yeah.
nowhere.
Oh,
I
yeah,
played
we
all three of them back
did.
to
Yeah,
back.
we went halvesies on that. That was a birthday gift.
Oh man, I remember
And
that shit.
I went back to back, man.
Yeah, honestly, I know 3 gets a lot of crap, but I think it was quite as bad as people said it was.
You know what the worst part about it is? It came out at the time where everything was like Call of Duty.
Yeah, probably.
You know what? That's another thing. I really do think that the culture of whatever is in the industry shapes how a lot of people react to games, and that can be where some games are either elevated too high or judged too harshly. I think that's one of the things that hurt Legend of Dragoon, to be real with you.
Oh
True,
god.
true.
Another thing that hurt Legend of Dragoon, honestly, is it was another game that kind of came out later in the PS1's life cycle, but it's also I know that the translation work being way too literal
Yeah.
But I mean, I love it in spite of that. But I think another thing that really hurt it was just for some bizarre reason, people got it in their heads that it was trying to be Final Fantasy VII.
Well,
Even though it
didn't
has, like,
somebody marketed it back then? Like someone said something about it being like a Final Fantasy VII killer.
not that I'm aware of.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard something about
No,
that.
but I do know that it constantly got called a Final Fantasy VII ripoff.
Yeah.
For reasons as stupid as the main character
Legend
being
fantasy,
blonde,
yeah.
which Dart isn't even blonde, so I don't know where they got that.
Every
Having a
game
big, that was it. He had a sword and he was blonde, so therefore it was a Final Fantasy VII ripoff.
Every
Those
game
games came out. Those games came out 3 years apart. If anything, that affected what was it? Dragoon would have been probably its comparison to Final Fantasy IX, because you were gonna just play a classic fantasy RPG, just go play Final Fantasy IX because
bro,
Fantasy.
here's the thing though. This is what happened is, and me and Danny talked about it before, was that when 7 came out, like people got so wrapped up in it, they like legit compared even other Final Fantasies to it. And it became to the point that it didn't matter what came out, it got compared to 7. And some people literally, and it blows my mind because it doesn't make sense. Some people wouldn't play at all any other RPG that wasn't 7 back then. It was crazy, bro. Like, and I can't understand. Imagine, I will never in my life say, this game is so good, I will never play another game in this genre. That's how good this game is. Like, I couldn't. It couldn't do. So that's kind of why the comparisons always stay. Like, people had tunnel vision, literally ignored other Final Fantasy games. Not to say that 7 didn't entertain. It was just that it was that strong fanboy like cover. I think it hurt a lot of RPGs that tried to come out after 7.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
They just like a lot of RPGs didn't get a fair shake.
I think it's half and half. Because I'm just saying, because like I've literally had jobs where I've had to sell games, and I'm like, if I'm gonna sell somebody a classic fantasy RPG, I would sell them Final Fantasy IX before I would sell them Legend of Dragoon, because I mean, Final Fantasy just has more brand appeal. And even though Final Fantasy IX didn't sell as much as 7, let's not mistake anything. Final Fantasy IX is still a high-selling game. It's over 5 million copies.
Yeah.
Oh, Legend of Dragoon was also one of the first turn-based RPGs I'm aware of to actually get criticized for being too hard.
Yeah, don't remake that game this
got a chance to get multiple.
Yeah, the addition system plus the way there. I will say that it was a little uncomplicated how you raised your Dragoon level. But like, it's nowhere near as bad as some people make it out to be, and like a lot of people didn't even talk about that. It was just the addition system. They whined about it.
So like how was the junction system in Final Fantasy VIII? That's pretty much everyone complains about in that game.
Well, I mean, it's like it's.
No, I'm not saying they're like they're the exact same, but you know what I mean, like the complaint.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love that system. I like the fact that it's turn based, but it still like adds an element of like skill to the game, where you're not just sitting there passively hitting, tap X and watch it happen. Like, you actually have to interact. You have to get your timing down.
Like, if you got a good addition down, now they're unforgiving on the timing in Dragoon, but if you laid that down, you can get like some serious. Like, when I had got down the additions I was comfortable with, like, man, just as long as I had a complete turn for my 3 characters, I'm doing crazy damage on the boss.
Or you can just do the smart thing, grind on grunts for a while, and when you get first big shot, buy the War God amulet.
Yeah, I had to do that for the Gust of Wind dance, bro.
That like broke the power of that thing was pretty much solely. I think it raised your attack a little bit too, but the big draw of it was you auto completed every edition.
Yeah, the Ultimate War Guy.
Yeah.
I always needed that for Albert, for the Gust of Wind dance. It was such a long edition, but he was so fast with it.
That too, I think, was actually honestly Legend of Dragoon when. Oh God, it's kind of a. You know what? 90% of you ain't gonna. When Lavitz died, in that game. Was actually one of the first RPG deaths that actually like moved me. It was one of the first that I'd actually experienced.
Shit hits close to home.
Well, it was like they actually did a pretty decent job, like building up a relationship with him and making him genuinely a character, and not in a way that was like super over the top or like flagging his death either. So when it happened, it actually was kind of shocking. I thought that he was
Bro,
gonna.
I know what got me was literally before y'all went on that mission that got him killed, y'all was just at his house and he had that moment where he like put his arm over Dark's shoulder. He's like, I got a feeling we're gonna be friends for a long time. I was like, well, why you say that? Why you saying it like that, man?
Yeah, and
And then he tried to do the quick transformation into his dragoon form and got stabbed in the gut.
God, he was such a likable character. He really was. And like I said, it wasn't in any kind of super annoying or over the top way. They didn't like Sasuke him or anything like that.
Nah, it's just
Where like everybody loves. He was just a genuinely good guy, and a pretty kick-ass fighter too. And then, it actually kind of hurt when I definitely was not expecting, especially not where it happens. Like it's one of those things you figure if they're going to do that, they'd save it for later in the game, but it's like right there.
no, they did that, and then they tortured you when you had the fighting spirit on the fourth disc.
Yeah, that. Anyway,
Like damn.
Anyways,
That in the first disc, you fought his spirit on the fourth disc.
yeah. Well, on that depressing note.
I think it's about time we wrap this up,
done,
gentlemen.
right?
Yeah, we've touched on everything. But yeah, y'all, first podcast of the new year, 3 months in. I gotta say, for the first podcast of the new year, I think, this is the most structured we've been in a long ass time. What the hell?
And that's saying.
I mean, all it took was a global health crisis pandemic to get us situated. That's crazy.
It's the end of the world. Time for a podcast.
And we know it. Straight up. So, can't say when we're going to be back, but we will be back. We will definitely be back. Will it be before or after WB Games announces their title? I don't know. I can't say for certain.
Before. It'll be before.
Definitely.
Will it be before that giant asteroid almost slams into the Earth? Who can say?
I thought that was the Saiyans.
What's gonna get us first, the virus or the asteroid?
Oh, shit. What would you rather go from, the asteroid or the virus?
I deal with the virus, bro.
Like guaranteed death?
Like guaranteed death, I'd say if it's the asteroid and it's just like you don't even look at it, boom, you're dead, maybe.
Yeah, I'd probably go that way. It's a lot faster.
Yeah. I ain't trying to have anything be excruciating. Negative.
Like slowly suffocating to death on your own phlegm is not a.
It's not something I wish on my enemies either. But yeah. If y'all want to follow us, you want to follow the boys on here, Danny, where can they find you?
I am on Twitter at DannyD's, and I have a YouTube that is allegedly not dead. It's not. It's just I'm trying to find a good topic to come back on that discussed about the 30.
Copy. Jamil, where can people follow you, bro?
Twitter, God of Shortman, whatever.
I love hearing him say that.
He says it.
Well, I post stuff. I'm debating on whether or not to release this video, and if I want,
you got to release it for the culture, bro.
No, bro, you don't understand. Topics like these are things people get doxxed over, and I'm like, oh,
that's right.
That's my issue.
That's right.
Like if it was just like like trolls or whatever, I could just that's some other stuff. But like this type of topic is genuinely sensitive for people in this era, so I'm like, I don't know if I want to do it. But it's like
it needs to be done, bro. Do it.
You're gonna regret it if you don't.
The bros need to have their heads smacked every once in a while.
Make a new channel and get a Joker mask.
Send
I was actually
in
thinking
the
about
clowns.
you joke, But I was actually thinking about making a new channel only because like I could have certain videos that discuss more social like issues in gaming,
Right.
or the other
Oh,
or the
no.
current one has like straight gaming stuff. But I don't.
Oh.
Well, it's something to think about.
Exactly.
But yeah, I actually gotta go, guys. I got.
Oh, yeah.
You got what?
I got pee.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard something else entirely.
All right, bro. We all at you.
All right, take it easy, bro. And Rob, what about you, bro?
You can find me on Twitter at YoungRots, YUNG_ROTTZ. And usually on there talking about nonsense or replying to stupidity that I see. Actually, you know what? I forgot to mention. Actually, I made a video and I edited the mess out of it, and the file fucking fucked up, and I just gave up. I was like, you know what? Fuck this.
Oh man, you got to go back to doing them phone videos, man. I'm telling you, when it's quick, easy, to the point.
I did a whole ass video. I was proud of that video too, man. And it's like the file was fucked up. I was
That's
like,
the worst
come
feeling.
on, man.
You lose all type of motivation to do any other video for the next year.
Like for real, man. I was just like, you know what, whatever, man. It was live.
Man, it's like that feeling when your game save corrupts or it didn't save and you lost like 3 hours. Or
Oh my god! Remember back in the days when you were just playing a game and you didn't save and you had a power outage? Yo,
oh man,
some games I almost never went back to.
You just don't go back. You know, really quickly, my save data for Sonic 06 got corrupted. I traded it in. Like, what was like, you playing this no more?
Yo.
I was like, what? I'm not going back to do that. I'm not I hated Silver's campaign. I'm like, you know what? Nah.
That shit was pretty bad.
If it's any consolation, I actually wound up having to beat Melma twice.
Oh god.
So,
Yeah, nah.
In his
I traded
world.
that boy in immediately, bro. I traded that. I was like, oh, you think I'm about to play this over again?
Hell no.
Shit, if I do it.
God.
So yeah, like I had to do it twice because I actually beat him, and then the power at our house went out.
Oh god.
And I didn't even get to see like the ending cutscene or anything that came after that battle.
Yeah.
So I had to go through. If you know anything about that battle,
Oh, the battle with Solaris.
oh god, it's
Just throw everything out. But
bro, like it is such a long thing. But yeah, I had to do it twice just to. We didn't have YouTube back then.
nope.
Nah, I didn't.
So if I wanted to see that, I had to beat him again. So I did. It was not fun.
And
I mean, it was, but it wasn't. Anyway. Yeah.
And if y'all want to follow me, you know where it is. Twitter.com/NeoGameSpark. Allegedly, I use my Facebook account every now and then. If y'all want to check out that page, it's the same thing. Facebook.com/NeoGameSpark. And
playing Oscar Proud in the Proud Family revival.
Yeah, shush. You see, we were gonna bring that up, but they delayed the announcement due to the virus. Man, this dude go. Y'all didn't see nothing. All y'all watching right now, don't listen to a word this man said. You didn't see anything. And yeah, we out, y'all. Peace.
Peace.